New episode of KFC Radio is about to start right now, but before we do that, I need a favor from you. We've got a new YouTube channel. It's called the KFC Radio Clips channel. It's a short-form YouTube with all of the best interviews, segments, and moments from KFC Radio, past and present, just a few minutes long, so you can keep up with the podcast and all of our greatest moments if you don't have time to watch the full episode. So head on over there. There's a link in the description below. Click that, subscribe, and then come back and catch the full episode. Thank you. It's another edition of KFC Radio on the Barstool Sports Network. I kicked off Men's Mental Health Month.
Is that what it is?
With a bang.
What happened?
Yeah, it's Men's Mental Health Month. Saturday morning, I had nothing for the first time, like, ever. No work, no kids, no sports, no nothing. We went out Friday night, and I was like, I am sleeping in, really sleeping in. Like, I'm going to go, like, college sleeping in, right? And I did that. And I woke up at, like, 10:45. And as I was waking up, I was, like, half dreaming, half awake. And in my dream, I can't remember exactly what was happening, but, like, things were, like, piling up. And at the very end, I got a sty in my eye. You know how I get those, right?
Yeah.
And I felt it, like, in my dream. I don't have one in real life, but in my dream, I felt it. And I was like, fuck this. In my dream, I just, like, was like, fuck. And I woke up crying. John, I cried for 35 straight minutes.
What?
I couldn't stop. And I was doing that while I was crying. It was insanity. It was like I was crying, and then I was like, oh, I don't know, like something happened in my dream. And then I would, like, stop and, like, pause and start crying again. And then this thing happened where if I would stretch, like I did, like, a morning stretch, it would trigger, and I would start crying again. And then I started thinking about, like, the stuff that probably is making me upset, and then I started crying again. It was a fucking sitcom.
35 minutes.
It was
two sitcoms.
Yeah, it was two sitcoms without commercials. It was two sitcoms without commercials. I literally, when it would subside, I'd be like, all right, I'm done. And then I would start again, and I would go like, I don't want this to happen again.
Dude, that's a child cry.
It was yeah. I was gonna say my previous record for, like, the hardest I think I've cried was when I was watching Only the Brave with Miles Teller, and that was like, you know, you tear up and you're watching a movie. Like, it was like a little kid where I was like, and I had someone in bed with me, so I've either got to marry her or kill her now. One or the other. I've either got to assassinate her or she's in it for the long haul.
No one else can know about this except everyone I tell. Dude,
it was and you know what was really funny? Before I went to bed, I watched one of those, like, alpha camps where the guy, like, pushes and he starts crying, and I was like, what is this guy? And I watched another one where have you seen the massage therapists that, like, claim to, like, these are people who have, like, deep trauma, and they're like, this is where, like, sexual assault is, and this is where whatever it is.
That person's never going to touch me. That person would be like, I forget the movie, but, like, when you touch someone and you see their past, you'd be like, damn, I fucked this, dude. I'm out of here.
Whoa.
He becomes a villain for the sequel. I've seen some shit, man.
But they say they're, like, massaging them, and they're like, they start to, like, break down and cry and let it all out. And I saw that too, and I was like, this is bullshit. And I woke up and cried for two sitcoms. It got to the point where I was, like, interested in it. I was like, what's going on? I was like, what is happening right now? I started laughing. I'm thinking about it. I'm talking about it. And then I was like, all right, it's done. And then I would, like, flex my muscles, and I'd start crying again. I could just like, I started to have control of it. It was like a superpower. I was like, I'm gonna start crying again. It was the weirdest experience I've ever fucking had.
That's and so you seemed great the night before.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, as anytime anything like this has happened to me, it's always, the straw that broke the camel's back sort of thing.
Yeah.
But there wasn't even a straw. I was fine.
Well, you got a sty in a fake world.
Yeah,
so.
that's really what it was. In my dream, I had a sty and I lost it. But yeah, there's I mean, I can take a guess at what these things were, but there wasn't anything like that night or that, whatever. But I was just weeping like a baby.
I can't think of the name of the song. It might be "Cry in My Lambo," and it's about like I honestly don't even know what it's about. I don't really.
What kind of song? What kind of music is it?
It's like pop rock, pop punk, pop deal.
Yeah.
But it's just like the guy's like, I'm sad all the time. I don't really care, but I'd rather cry in a Lambo. And it's like the chorus is like, I'd rather cry in the Lambo. I'd rather cry at my chateau. And I'm like, that must be a little better.
I went out to my pool afterwards. It was a nice day by the pool. It was a nice. I looked like I just got out of the octagon. I FaceTimed with Shay later, and she was like, "You look tired," and I was like, "You have no idea." I mean, I was like beat up. So here's to Men's Mental Health Month. I didn't even know it was that until afterwards. I was like, well, yeah, maybe my body knew.
Dude, that kind of perfectly segues into something I wanted to say.
Oh God.
It's
unfortunately
this Instagram account I follow, Funniest Stand Up.
Okay.
And they post just a lot of clips, and sometimes they'll post podcast clips and stuff like that. And they had one today, or over the weekend, where it was Bert and Ari talking. Mm-hmm. And they posted this clip like it's a real like, whoa, can you believe it? Like, I felt, man, maybe I misinterpreted the caption, but I felt like it was kind of saying like these guys aren't even friends. They don't even like blah, blah, blah. Because Bert said him and Joe had a phone conversation the other day and realized that 90% of their conversations have been in front of microphones. Mm-hmm. And I was like, me and Katt, 99%.
100%.
And it's not, it's when you think of how much you talk in front of a microphone, you'd have to talk all the time off a microphone in order for it to be even
remotely close.
Right.
For us to make it 50-50, we'd have to talk incessantly.
We talk like 6 hours a week, roughly, into a microphone.
At least.
That would be insane if you talk to a friend
6 more hours
else on the other thing.
Bro, I talk to my friends like collectively an hour a week, like 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
Right.
I add it all up.
And so like a decade plus, and for them it's probably longer, of like long time talking in front of a microphone, it would be insane. And I thought like that would be something you call a friend about, or you go, we'll save it for the show.
Yeah, totally. I actually thought about like texting, and I was like, I'm going to talk about it. I mean, I think there's a difference if like our show was like a sports show, and like the only time we talked was like talking sports. And, Like, but we do all real talking here, so I'm like, all right, we're good. Like we do our friendship.
This is where not only when 90% of my conversations with you, this is where 90% of my conversations take place.
Bro, when I go home, I don't talk. I love going home. Like I'm like I'll listen to my family. Whoever wants to talk, like just blah 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 blah. It's shit that it's terrible stories. Yeah. I got a text from Lou the other day, and he was like, the number one reason you should never leave Barstool is because regular people are so goddamn boring. And he's just like, I can't talk to these people. Like, so I'm like, tell me your terrible stories about work and family and this or whatever. I will just sit here and just let it like pelt off my head. I'm good.
I've started taping my mouth when I get home. Not a joke. I get home.
You're doing nose breathing from the minute. Wait, for real?
For real. That's more recent, but yeah.
That's amazing.
It's honestly to prevent me from eating. It's what it really is.
Bro, when the main objective is to prevent you from eating and the secondary is to not talk, that's some shit right there.
I'm like, I've been feeling exceptionally fat recently, and I'm like, I gotta stop eating so much. And so I just get home and tape my mouth shut.
But I mean, you gotta you should duct tape it up.
I have complete control. It's like when people delete Instagram off their phone.
Yeah,
you can still go
right
get
back.
it.
But it's one extra little
step. It's an extra step.
Yeah. How long will you wear the tape for? Like
till
hours?
morning. Yeah.
Bro, we are so weird, dude. I don't think anybody can understand. Like, people probably think that's weird, the microphone thing. But it's like, I don't know. It's when you're in it, I never like think it's weird.
No.
Yeah, and even like Pat the other day was talking about how you haven't met my kids, and I know that is weird, but I'm like, we talk all the time. We've had this conversation before too, though. We talk all the time about like doing those things because like you feel like you have to, and it's like it's awkward for you, it's awkward for the kids. What do we do? And so I'm just like, we just didn't do it.
Yeah,
we just didn't do it. It'll happen eventually. When it happens, it'll be fine. They like know who you are and shit. Like if I showed them a picture of you, they would say that's Uncle John, which is even maybe that's weird.
they've heard of you.
Yeah. It's probably weirder that they would be like, oh, Uncle John. We've never met him, but shit, I had like actual family that I like never met when I was a kid. Like just family that like lived far away that we just never saw.
I just don't think I don't think I really had family that lived far away.
But again, it's things that like I think those people think is regular people think are weird, and I'm like, But what do I know? I'm the guy who breaks down and cries for 35 minutes. So maybe I'm not
living a totally normal life.
Maybe I'm not the guy who should be talking about how you should do things with your life.
The other podcast clip I saw, and I think this might have been from the same account, was, and I think again I completely disagreed with the way it was marketed, portrayed. I guess, whatever, portrayed, there's the word. Ray J on Shannon Sharp.
Didn't see it. Ooh, that sounds like good though.
He talks about how I think Shannon Sharp asked him something along the lines of, how did it change your life? The sex tape? The sex tape.
Yeah. And
Ray J's like, fuck my life. How did it change the world?
Yeah.
And he's like, the world is he's like, you're not wearing those clothes. He's like, OnlyFans doesn't exist. This and that, blah, blah, blah.
Wait, what about the clothes? Why the clothes?
Just like, way I heard it was, Kim eventually started dating Kanye. Kanye like redefined fashion.
Right.
There's like,
that's awesome.
I completely agree with Ray J. And you could do that with anybody and anything, but not anyone and anything. But
it's a little bit of an exaggeration, but you can connect the dots.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Like if she doesn't,
it definitively changed the world.
Well, it's kind of like a Kevin Bacon thing, because it's like the gate, like once it's Kim Kardashian, it opens up to the whole fucking thing.
Exactly.
But that's what happens. You know?
Yeah, Kim Kardashian doesn't exist without.
Right.
She's Paris Hilton's handbag holder, whatever she was.
Right. Literally like her little like, handmaid.
I think about how Pete Davidson probably gave like millions of ugly guys a chance.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a very big one too. Tall was always and has always been hot for girls, but like tall, lanky, and ugly became a thing because of that guy.
I actually think Pete Davidson, I think he is a repeat of the cycle. And I don't...
Who do you think was first?
I don't even know. I think it's just for eternity. Artsy.
Yeah, that's true.
Skinny, tattooed, funny guys.
That's
have
true.
fucked.
No, but like remember like when people were like Ariana Grande is dating Pete Davidson, everyone was like, wait, what? Like now it's like, duh.
It was
hot,
a little...
But
But he's
like,
not wrong
no
that
way,
like... I don't think like celebrities were really doing it,
I would think I don't have the evidence to say I'm right,
I'm
I would
I'm
think
sure
it's
there
happened.
was a couple girls stepping out with. Remember when Sandra Bullock was married to what's his face, and then he's dating like Bonnie Rotten, right?
I believe he's been married, divorced, remarried, divorced again, remarried again to Bonnie Rotten.
And Sandra Bullock was like.
Sandra Bullock.
It's like an A-list
either
Oscar winner, like proper.
Either she has another side, or that guy found a new side when they broke up. Because it is.
Dude, can you imagine?
Two wildly different people.
I picture her like the mom in The Blind Side,
which I watched fairly recently. What a piece of shit!
Really?
Oh my god!
Terrible.
It's awful. It's awful.
Michael, MJ, RJ, SJ.
It's shockingly bad. I don't know why I watched it. It must have been on TNT or something like that.
Whatever happened with that story, by the way? That just disappeared. Remember we were talking to SJ?
Yeah.
It was like all the talk of the news, and it was just gone. Just gone. Makes me think that the family was right on that one.
Yeah.
But like when she was, not necessarily the way she acts, because I actually could see that woman fucking. What's this guy's name? Jesse James, right?
Jesse James, yes.
Yeah. But like just the pearls and like a pencil skirt necklace and like this very like hoity-toity country club woman. That's my perception of Sandra Bullock, and she was probably not that with him. Bonnie Rotten's, I think, a pretty deep cut. People know Adriana Chechik, shit like that. But Bonnie Rotten's for the real beaters.
I don't know. She had a run there where she's the woman who's covered in tattoos and has severe mental issues.
But like we're perverts. Like once you see Bonnie Rotten, you'll remember her for life.
Yeah.
But like,
the chick with,
do you know who Bonnie Rotten is?
Well, Jackie wouldn't. But
do you know who Bonnie Rotten is?
He too young. I'm gonna keep making excuses.
We're perverts.
She's kind of, but also she was a big name in like Brazzers, which is pretty as mainstream as you get. And
but
then
you have to understand, there are a lot of dudes who just like check Pornhub, like click the first thing they see, and then they're done.
Okay, so maybe name you don't recognize the chick with spiderwebs all over her titties.
They are.
It's a pretty defining feature.
Yes. Once you know her, you'll never forget her. But it's just how many people initially know her, and then marrying her is crazy.
Yeah, well, I think it's played out that way.
I think so. I think
that's one of those you get into and you go,
you know what you're doing.
We're gonna get divorced at least twice.
And let's ride, baby.
I think one was the same day, like divorce, remarry. Yeah, this is exactly what I signed up for when I started fucking the ex-porn star with spiderweb tattoos.
Yep. Big shout out to Gametime. They are the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports, and they are sending the KFC Radio gang, you're coming on Wednesday, to cricket. USA Cricket against India, which is a very hot ticket. And I almost paid for them myself, and I almost bought them on like a other market, and they were like $1,000 each, and I remembered Gametime, and they're hooking it up with the best price possible. So the whole gang is going to go see the hottest new sport in America, cricket. They really are, though. I mean, there's tickets that were like $3,000.
Really?
It's a monster event. Again, for probably a lot of foreign people who are here. But it's absolutely crazy out on East Meadow, Long Island. So whether you're going to see cricket or if you're back in Dallas and you're gonna go watch the NBA Finals, boy, Dallas needs to pick. I'm in such a rock and a hard place. I don't want to see Kyrie play well or win, but I don't want to watch Boston win either.
No,
it's a lose-lose.
I watched the whole game last night. It's the worst situation possible, I feel like. As long as it's not the Pacers. As soon as the Pacers got out, I was like, now I don't care. But to watch the Celtics.
But I don't want to watch the Celtics win, but it's not. It doesn't feel like it did in the past where I like hate.
No,
Boston.
I don't hate any of the guys.
And I really like we can put to bed the Kyrie and Brunson comparisons now.
Oh, it's over. Yeah.
That's over. So whatever. If you're doing that, if you're gonna go see stand-up comedy, bands, music, theater, any sort of live entertainment, Gametime has you covered. They have flash deals for sudden discounts. They have zone deals for when you're feeling flexible. They have their lowest price guarantee, which means if you find a cheaper ticket on another outlet, they will give you 110% of the difference between the two tickets. It's the best price for last-minute seats with up to 60% off your favorite events. So what are you waiting for? Get those tickets now. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code KFC for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download the Gametime app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Speaking of podcast clips, we got to give a shout-out to our man, Glenn Powell.
Yes.
Glenn Powell.
It's crazy.
Glenn Powell got on an urban legend the same way we all did. I said in my video, he's, the new Hollywood it boy. He's chiseled from stone. He had a thing with Sydney Sweeney probably. I think once Twister comes out, he's going to take over Hollywood. But in that moment, he had a panic attack and a rush of embarrassment that every single one of us has had.
Wait, did he get caught?
Well, the world, people are starting.
And I use "get caught" very loosely because he didn't do anything wrong.
No. That's what I mean. He has not no one's said it to him in front of a microphone or anything. But I'm sure when there was. So let me explain better. So Glenn Powell goes on Octopussy's podcast. I think he calls it Therapuss or something like that, right? And Glenn Powell says, "You want to hear a crazy story?" And he's like, "Yes, please." And he goes, "My sister's friend went on a date with a guy." And I was like, when you say you want to hear a crazy story and it starts with my sister's friends went on a date, You know it's a fake story. But he ends up telling the story that we all have heard before and probably relayed to at least one person as a real story. The tale of the girl who's away in studying abroad in Europe, and she goes on a date with a local, and they hit it off, and he's so charming. But as they start to go back to his apartment, he starts to act a little weird, and she gets a little put off. And he says, "Can I give you a massage?" And he rubs lotion all over her. But then she gets the ick, and she gets weirded out. She runs home. The next day, the next week, she starts to really itch all over. So she goes to the dermatologist, and the doctor runs some tests. And he comes back to her, and he says, where have you been recently? What have you been doing? Because this lotion is used to break down human skin to eat the skin. And this is what cannibals use when they eat humans. So this guy was prepping you to eat you. What's his address? Where is he from? You got to call the police, and the police go there, and they find several dead bodies out in his basement or some shit. And everybody has heard that story, and they all go like, holy shit, this is the craziest story I've ever heard. And it's always from somebody who you trust enough.
Yep.
Or it's like, I trust you and you trust that person. But he trusts, and it just dwindles down to some asshole who told the story for the first time. Who made
I don't
it up.
even think it. Oh yeah, way back when.
Like somebody made
but
it
I think everyone tells it
as
because it is such a crazy story.
It would
but
be
then
a great
when you break it down,
it's ridiculous.
It's the most unbelievable. What, you think cannibals have a lotion?
Special lotion?
Cannibals exist solely on remote islands.
Yeah.
They don't wear clothes.
Like
but
they would be
have
able to manufacture some
fucking
lotion.
facility where they create cannibal lotion.
Well, Glenn Powell did say it was some black market lotion.
Yeah.
Even just, I'll tell you what's even the craziest part is the massage.
Yeah.
Like, if you went on a first date with a guy and you were like, let's go back to the hotel, the apartment, even if you were like, I'm going to go home and have sex with you. If he was like, can I give you a massage? I feel like you'd be like, no, dude, let's get your dick out. We're not doing that.
I've never said that in my entire life.
Right. Yeah,
I've had people request massages and I reluctantly give them, but I've never been
You're
like...
the most anti-massage guy in the world.
I don't like touching. Why do you want me to touch you so much?
How
you sit
do
on that
you-
end of the couch. I'll sit over here. Let's just watch the fucking
How
movie.
do you have sex, though?
Don't touch him.
You just put your dick out. Nothing else can touch.
I can take short bursts of touching, but
That's funny.
it's crazy to me that people like being touched. I talk about it so much. You think I have like this aversion where like if you touch me, I like jump back. I'm like, don't touch me.
I do.
I don't
And I
do
think
that.
you do.
No, I sit there and stew. I let you touch me. I'm just furious the whole time. Why would you want a hot, heavy thing laying on you?
Well, wait, what does that mean?
It's a body. They're hot. They're heavy.
What kind of massage are you getting?
I'm just talking about touch, like cuddling and all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I do get that, but like, I think there's something like absolutely inherent inside humans to like want to cuddle.
Your brain's like supposed to release oxytocin.
It's like when I get a massage or get touched, I'm like, my eyes roll back in my head. I'm like, this feels so good. Like I've always said, if you scratch my head, like you can have the bank code right now. Like that's all I need in this world. What's that? Love languages, right? Is physical touch is one of them. Like that is for sure mine. You can like scratch me, scratch my back, rub my head, fuck me, do all that shit. I'm in. And you, like, not only like,
I'm uncomfortable thinking about it right now.
I really think you might have been sexually assaulted. I really think you suppressed it, and it's just unlocked. It's locked up somewhere in there. Because like the rest, and like I can understand the massaging thing, especially because you got your belly button fingered that one time. But like, even just like cuddling, like spooning, is like such an inherent thing. I feel like that people do.
I don't
a hug, a spoon, like sit on the lap, whatever.
I'm fine quick. If we get in and out, fine. But
it's the prolonged.
You gonna do this all night?
Yeah. Well, no, of course. Yeah, that's where.
I can't see the TV. Why would I sit like this?
Did you see Mario Lopez? I love Mario Lopez, but I thought this was a very, very telling moment. Carson Daly is a proud member of the Separate Beds for Marriage Club, and he said, I think the key to a long marriage is separate beds. And Mario Lopez like reposted it on Instagram and was like, "Not me. I'm too frisky for that. I'm about that business. I get too hot and heavy at night. I need my mamacita in bed with me. No way, Carson Daly. I fuck too much." It was like, okay, Mario. Okay.
That's
I think you're telling on yourself.
Far from it.
Yeah. I think you're telling on yourself a little bit there, buddy.
Are you gay? Me?
The straightest guy ever.
I completely disagree, by the way, I don't think you should sleep in separate beds. I think
that there's a time, a stage in the relationship where I think it works. I do think it's a little weird because I think it's like a bodily function that you need, and sleeping with somebody can like drastically affect that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if let's say you're compatible, then fine. But if it's like you like it hot, I like it cold. You twist and turn, and I like sleep like a rock. I'm a light sleeper. You know, all that shit. You snore. All these things that are like, I'm now not sleeping at night. We're not awake. We're not experiencing anything. You just want me next to you while you ruin the thing I need to regenerate my body.
Well, I'm the ruiner.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Yeah.
Well, not anymore. I have a taped mouth.
Does it work?
I have no idea.
I guess you wouldn't know. But like in the beginning of a relationship, I think you should do it. You know, like I preach separate beds and separate dinners, but that's like when you're like comfortable and you're good, and it's like we don't have to eat at the same exact time and eat the same thing every time. We don't have to sleep on top of each other. But I think that has to be after you're like rock solid. Anyway, back to Glenn Powell. We've all told this story before, or so to me, it's the Cannibal lotion. It's the we brought home a baby while we were high on acid.
Yep.
That one. You know that one?
Yeah.
Where everybody, like we were so high and we were playing with trolls. We were tripping, and then we wake up in the morning and there's a baby in our dorm room. And there's one. Oh, the one I told, the dead dog in the duffel bag, and the person steals it from him.
Yes.
That was the one I told in front of a whole trading desk at dinner. Do you know these? No. Maybe it's not. Maybe the internet.
But Glenn Powell's our age, so like it's just.
Yeah.
I think it's
Are there? Come here. I'm wondering. Are there? Is his mic on?
Yeah.
Okay. Are there? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like these are stories that like
they get told a bunch. Then
right,
you
but
think
so are there ones for your generation that have been told now that like you'd be like, oh, that's the classic?
I mean, I thought there was one that was real, but now that you guys are saying this, I'm thinking it's not because like
which one is it?
So my friend, I was golfing with him before I came here, and he goes to WPI. Probably shouldn't have said that, but he was saying how a friend of a friend that also goes there was like on studying abroad in Spain. And, like, he woke up one morning and his ass was, like, sore. He's like, what's going on? He fell asleep on the beach drunk. And then he said he looked at his phone, and there was a video of a homeless guy getting fucked by a homeless guy.
We did this one.
Yeah,
we did this one. Yeah.
So, and my friend said he had a video of it from the friend, and I didn't even ask because, like, I don't know if I want to see this video.
Wait, so did we have a video?
No, I bet there's a video. It was Pav's buddy who like fell asleep on a park bench.
Yeah,
and we thought that was real.
I thought it was true. We told it on this podcast. Pav's got a crazy story.
Yeah.
I've been telling people for 2 weeks. Yeah. It's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
That's fucking great. Yeah. So wait, I would like to see if whatever video Pavs has is the same thing.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's got to be, right?
Or it could just be an anal video.
Yep, that's for sure one.
I'm crushed now.
Yeah, like, that would be. That's the new. That's the latest one I've heard. You know, I don't know how many years that old that is. That might be brand new, but that is the latest one. That's funny.
And everyone when they tell, like when Paz told it, Paz was aware of those older ones. Yep. And when you hear it, you're like, no, this came
is
from someone I
trust.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep. No, I know this person. They wouldn't, and that person didn't lie to you. They told you a story they thought was true.
Yeah, and then, but the first person is such a weirdo.
Yeah.
The first guy was like,
nah, the first person's a genius.
I guess so.
He's like the first
They're
person
like Shakespeare. They're like
I was
telling
modern day disciples.
Yeah, for real.
Like, yo, I just saw this guy walk on water. Trust me,
it's real. I mean, the guy who's just like, I'm gonna tell my dorm roommate that my sister's cousin, got fucked in the ass by a homeless man on a park bench.
Yeah.
and posted on Instagram.
No, he said. I said, did he go get tested? He said no.
Oh,
yeah, okay.
That was the kicker. Is that the kid has AIDS.
Yeah. I was expecting that, but
man, it's just so funny how much that type of story will live on forever. I told one. There's one about dog sitter. While they're watching the dog dies. They need to bring it to the vet to dispose of the body, and somebody he has to take a bus. And somebody steals the bag thinking that there was a lot of electronics and shit in it. and I got set up by a coworker when I was an intern. He made me tell it. He was like, "Yo, tell that story that you told on the floor today." I told it in front of like, it was a table of like 20 people at like a company dinner. And after I finished it, he like dropped the bomb, like, "That's a fake story," and I was just never more.
And he's the one who told you?
He's the one who no. He just called me out on it.
Oh. But he waited. He'd already heard the story, and he waited to embarrass you.
So the thing was,
that's insane.
It was. I hate this guy.
Yeah,
Mike Dixon. If I ever find you, I'm going to kill you with my bare hands. I have enough money to pay someone to kill you now. We were on the trading floor, and I told it to just like this, I was an intern, and I worked hand in hand with the clerk, not like the traders. So I told the clerk this story, and he was like, "Yo, that's crazy. You got to tell, you know." So I told all the traders, and so it kind of like spread around the floor. Mm-hmm. And then when we were at dinner, Mike was like, "Yo, tell that story that like everyone's loving," like knowing that it was fake, and just let me fucking hang myself.
That sucks.
It was,
but also
it was the most. If it was like a funny thing, it was like done in like a malicious way, and I was literally the intern. You know, I think he was probably like 25 at the time, but I was like 18, I think, and was like, "Fake story, you've been lying," like whatever. And I'm sure I was bright red, just being like, I thought it was a real story. I don't know. Like, what do you want? Okay. Just started eating my food.
They're real. Again, the person who gets quote unquote caught, there's nothing wrong. I'm just repeating a story I heard.
Right.
This is what we've done for eternity.
I do have to give Glenn Powell credit. He says, it's funny. He goes, "You want to hear a crazy story?" And the guy says yes. And he starts to tell it. And he goes, "I got to get my facts straight on this one. I'm going to tell the story, and then I'm going to ask my sister, and we'll fact check it." So it's like as he was like, "I'm about to tell this."
But then when you tell that, and then you ask your sister, she goes, "Yeah, that's what happened. That's the story I've heard."
Right.
And you're like, "All right, I told it right then."
I also, though, you texted it to me, and I really think this might be the first time that I can think of that like a celebrity, like we've told it on a podcast before, but like people just kind of go like, "Oh, whatever." That's people either believe it's real or they know it's fake and they move on.
Yeah.
But like an A-list celebrity, like the internet, the reaction on the internet was like, "Oh my fucking God, I can't believe this. This is so horrifying. It could happen to anybody." And then like one tweet, like 40 tweets down was like, "This is a fake story." So I don't know how much like I said, Glenn Powell's either the type of guy to laugh at this or like strangle his publicist. Like, "How did you let me do this?" But Glenn, come on the show. We'll tell some stories. Come hang out. We got a bunch of them for you. But that's got to be that first feeling. Again, it's nothing wrong, but you just feel embarrassed. It's like, "Oh my God, I've told everybody that story." Fuck. I feel like such an idiot.
Now they've telling the story that their good friend it happened to.
Hosts a podcast. But speaking of good stories that are real, we have Gary Vider on the show today, a very funny comic. His special is out, and he also has just dropped a new podcast series about his father. And him and his dad used to scheme and scam their way through life. His dad was like a true blue, like Catch Me If You Can, Frank Abagnale Jr. con man, and they used to sneak into every like major sporting event, as he was a Sports Illustrated writer and Gary was a Sports Illustrated for Kids writer. So he was at like the '94 Cup, the '94 Finals, like every Yankee World Series, like everything as a kid, pretending to be a Sports Illustrated for Kids writer.
Wait, why wasn't he just the Sports Illustrated writer's son?
I guess, I don't know, maybe.
I don't know this fucking kid. I think he
writes for the paper.
I think
also.
he writes for SI for Kids or whatever.
Probably a good point. And his father along the way was like not just doing like, "Hey, I get my kid into the game." He was like conning businesses and, you know, he's a crook. He's a criminal. Yeah. But there's something like romantic about that style of criminal, you know what I mean? And eventually it got to a point where like it was, you know, his mom couldn't deal with it anymore, and they became estranged. And so Gary is doing this 10-part podcast where he's talking to all of his family members and all the people that his dad conned, and he's trying to track him down and find him, which I think is one of like the best concepts I've heard in a while. So that is out along with his special, and he's on the show today explaining all of this stuff. It's really, really good. It was a good interview. So that's later. We'll get into our voicemails. You got anything else?
I got one thing I want to say about Caitlin Clark. I'm a Caitlin Clark fan.
Uh-huh.
I like Caitlin Clark. I'm team Caitlin Clark. It's also really funny that the reason she didn't make the USA team is because of us. Like, it's objectively funny.
You think
that-
Caitlin Clark's at home like these fucking people won't shut the fuck up about me, and now I can't go to the Olympics.
These people who have watched
One
5
game.
games,
I
maybe.
watched one, and I'm screaming it from the mountaintops every time. This is ridiculous. It's an outrage. These women are pathetic. I've watched one game. It was on at a bar, and I was at a restaurant eating lunch. I couldn't see it, and I didn't even know it was on in the afternoon. That was the one game I watched of her.
I watched Iowa LSU, the one they lost 2 years ago. I watched a few Iowa games like in the tournament this year.
I've seen the highlights.
Yeah.
Add them all up. That's probably 2 games.
Everyone who's using Caitlin Clark to project whatever their beliefs are about whatever is the reason that and like I actually think that's a fair reason.
I don't think you can penalize.
If she's the best player in the world, no. If she's a borderline, if you're like, well, then what's the? It's honestly the same stuff I and many people say about Colin Kaepernick. Where it's like, I don't need the fucking backup quarterback to have all this goddamn drama. I don't need that breathing down my neck all the time.
But that's different because that's negative drama.
I think it gets pretty fucking toxic with Caitlin Clark.
Only if you're a fucking petty ass bitch.
I'm not talking. I'm talking about what I think the exact quote was like. They're worried about how much bad press, it would get when she doesn't play much.
But first of all, I don't know if that would happen.
I think it probably would, but
we are creating a hypothetical scenario that may or may not happen, and it's something this girl cannot control. And so let's play this out. You're worried about the response. What about this response? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're getting the same toxic response.
Agreed.
Except you're fucking this girl over. I
also don't know. Well, I mean, everyone who knows basketball seems to say, yeah, she probably isn't one of the best 15 players in the world.
But also, they put Diana Taurasi on, who's 41. It's hard to be like we're putting the best team out there if you put a 41-year-old vet out.
Yeah, but like a vet presence is better than.
Yeah, I guess so. But so I think they said.
I'm gonna be clear. I wish she was on the team, but I think it's funny why she's not.
Yeah, I know it is. Like Caitlin. Ultimately, you weigh out the pros and cons. The $30 million Nike deal, everyone else in the world absolutely loves you. You take all this attention.
Yeah.
But it is funny that on that day, she was probably like, fuck all these people. All my fans can suck a dick.
But they said, will you guys just shut the fuck up for 10?
Right, just a day, just like one day.
Everyone's done that with their fan base at times. I mean, I've certainly thought about Barstool fans. Like, will you guys just shut up?
Yeah, you're making it worse.
Let me fucking handle it for a second.
Yeah.
I'm trying to smooth this over, and you guys won't stop calling the fucking writer a cunt.
Yes.
It's making my job very difficult.
That is the perfect example. Like, she does not want a fucking race war started in her name, but that's what's going on. I think there would be a lot of stupid people who would be like, how come you're not playing Caitlin? I think a lot of people would understand that if you're a rookie on the all-star team for the Olympics, you're not going to play 30 minutes a game. I think there would be enough of both where it's just like that's kind of how it goes. I also think the other rookies they've put on in the past are playing like the same way she is. Like three of the previous 5 number 1 picks have been on the team, and they put their stats all together, and they all are like averaging like 15, 16 points a game on like 40% shooting, like all very similar, except for Candace Parker. That girl was balling as a rookie. She was like lights out from the jump.
But that all makes sense. She's a borderline player, and you weigh everything.
With the X factor though being like, I think way more good would happen.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I just see the logic of the other way.
Yeah, the X factor of it being backlash. I think it's those people who don't want backlash. There's like 6 women on the committee. I think those people would be like fucking getting tweeted at.
Yeah.
Who you're not mad at the WNBA. You're not mad. It's just like one committee. So it's like, yeah, you guys would get a lot of backlash, but you're just covering your asses. Meanwhile, I think the Olympics, there is a corniness to the Olympics where it is about the game and global competition, and especially women's basketball. Like Caitlin Clark would be signing autographs for women all over fucking Paris and everybody who comes to see it. I think that's more of a positive thing. I think women's basketball had a moment, is having a moment, and I do think the drama is good for business. But I also think like it would have been better to just make all of this a positive.
Yeah.
And they've found ways, every which way, to make it a negative. Sometimes it's like when it's the other player's fault, or it's Angel Reese's fault. boy, that girl shot herself in the foot. I feel like she kind of had her fan base too. But then that quote about like Me Too.
No, what'd you say?
When she was like, I just want everybody to know that like women's basketball is more than just one person. It's me too. And everyone was like, that sounded like an asshole thing.
I was going to say, she's not wrong,
right.
but it is.
But it's like everyone else is saying, like, there's veterans who deserve the respect, and how come we didn't say this about Diana Taurasi and this and that? And then Candace Parker's like, how come you're not saying it about me? And it came across that way where everyone was like, well, now you're being self-serving, so
it is 100%. I agree with the reception of that quote, but also, like, she was the number 3 pick in the national champion? That's pretty good too.
Yeah, no, right? She is good.
Like it wouldn't be crazy if a number 3 pick national champion said that. Like, yeah, people tune in to watch me.
Sure. I just think
it's just weird to say.
Yeah, and again, it's like I
don't know if she's 3, but she was a lottery pick.
Yeah, she was up there. It's just she's slowly letting it out that it's more and more about like I want the attention.
Yeah,
and I don't like her. When in the beginning it was all like no, it's healthy competition, but I just think it could have all been more a positive thing. Like, yes, there will be some backlash. I think letting that worry you so much that you deprived, like, you know, I really don't think I will watch any of this.
No, I probably won't either.
I think ratings would be, like, severely down because of this. So,
I disagree with the decision, but
it is funny.
It's funny.
Sorry, Caitlin. Our bad.
It is.
I imagine. I would just love to think of Dave. I would love to think of Caitlin just being like, Dave Portnoy will just shut the fuck up. Maybe I can make the Olympic team.
Dude, I was thinking this is kind of a similar vein. I was watching the French Open yesterday, and do you think in tennis, in particular in tennis, because it's 1-on-1, it's just there's no field, like in the championship game, or championship match. Do you think it ever crosses their minds like, if I lose, I lose $1 million? Like when you're in a team sport, there's so many factors.
When there's a purse,
it's it's just me.
Total. I once you have a ton of money, probably not. But in the beginning,
particularly, I was thinking yesterday because it was Zverev, I think his name is pronounced. I forget. Or Zverev, whatever. Like they kept arguing with the French Open doesn't use eagle eye because it's clay, so they look at like the mark the ball left. Sure. And there was one in particular in the 5th set that was like, I think it was the 5th set, maybe it was the 4th. That was like really, 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 really fucking close, and kind of turned the tide, to be honest, in Carlos's favor. And they were arguing a bit, and he was you know, demonstrative, but he wasn't going nuts. I was like, you're gonna lose $1 million
because of that fucking asshole. Yeah.
Like there's nothing else you can put. Again, in most sports, there's a million factors that lead to everything, and there are in tennis too. But it's me versus you,
and the prize is this,
right?
And we know what it is.
It's like it's $1 million. And again, both these guys are pretty rich.
How much you beat yourself up, like. Bro, I would like miss a shot in beer pong in college. Like, God damn, you're better than that, Kevin. Come on. And you like, you know, serve the ball out, you know, double fault. And it's like, well, that was a $1 million mistake.
Yeah.
You dumb asshole. Go home and cry for 35 minutes, you piece of shit. Oh, if we're talking about sports, shout out to American cricket. Cricket's having a moment. I think I'm going to be a cricket fan because Lord knows I can't watch baseball anymore. God damn it. This whole cricket thing is crazy to me. Like, they're playing World Cup cricket games on Long Island. What the fuck is that about?
We texted about this a little bit. I was aware that it was happening because I was going to go this weekend, and I saw it was like 2 hours from my apartment and decided not to. But I thought it was kind of like when Liverpool comes over and they bring...
Oh, this is it.
Kind of not the scrubs, but the stars don't really play, and it's an exhibition game, and it's not that... I didn't realize this is an official tournament.
This is group play for, like, the World Cup. It's the T20 World Cup. T20 means you play 20 innings, basically. They call them overs. But the regular cricket goes on for hours. There's been cricket games that last 5 days at a time.
Yeah.
So that is, I think, a part of the reason why we don't really watch it. But they made this T20 version, and cricket purists are like, that sucks. That's not real cricket. But all the normal people in the world are like, this is reasonable. It's a 3-hour match. It's catching on globally, and cricket's very popular in all the countries that Great Britain colonized. And so it's very popular in like the West Indies in the Caribbean. So that's where the championship is. And I think while they were just like coming east or west, they were like, let's do some games in America so the qualifying rounds are in a few different places. One being Long Island, and we played in Dallas, and that's where we beat Pakistan, which is the 6th ranked team in the world, and we're like 18 out of 20. We're like, barely made the cut. We're like,
I like that we're not good now that I know why it's popular in certain countries.
Yeah, it's
Like,
we don't like that.
I'm not putting those chains back on.
But these guys in America, first of all, I mean, no, they're Americans. They're all, Indian guys. They're all, they're expats. It's not like we have, I think there was a guy named Aaron Jones on the team who's good. So I think he's just like a regular dude. There's probably a couple white guys. But it's not like, we're sending me and you out there. They are all guys who used to play in those countries and came over. But they all have day jobs.
Wait, so are they... They're kind of like when fucking Brett Hull, Brett Hull had dual citizenship, and he
I'm
played.
Sure it's like that, yeah.
I think I forget what order he did in. I think he played for Team Canada most of his career, and then later in his career
That's
switched to Team USA.
Bullshit.
Yeah,
you can't do that. That's why I'm like a little bit. I don't want to just. I'm like just ignoring that part of it. I'm sure those guys are the lesser players in India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and they're like, if I go to America,
but
I'm
so they're from there.
Yeah,
yeah.
I actually I shouldn't say that. I don't know where they were born.
Okay.
I know some of them. At least some of the stars were living there from there and came over. But they're like,
I don't think that should be allowed in international competition. You have to be born.
I wanted to ignore it. It kind of ruins. It's like
the America's Cup race, which is a sailing race, which is a big deal, and it was for so long. It was like Italy, but they've completely ruined it in that you can be from anywhere on any team.
Well, it's
like,
hard
what the
with
fuck's
America
the point
though
of this?
when you're the melting pot. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but it's
you're born here. It sounds.
Okay.
It sounds.
Get your
not good.
Get your MAGA hats out.
But what I'm
These
saying,
goddamn migrants
sense.
playing for my team. No, but I agree with you.
Yeah,
because when they
had the Olympics in Greece, and if you could have your great grandfather was from Greece, you could play for the Greece. No, you can't.
Right.
You're not Greek. You're American.
Right. I am with you on that. It definitely took away a little bit of my excitement when I looked at the team, and I was like, oh, well, this is just like another team from Pakistan beat another team from Pakistan. You know what I mean? But
are they Pakistani or are they American?
I'm imagining they are from those countries and now have American citizenship.
Okay.
Now live here.
If they're doing the Brett Hull, I don't like it.
Yeah. But the star of our team is a software engineer at Oracle. There's one of our guys is an Uber driver.
Really?
There's a bunch of guys who work in IT. There's 3 Patels who all work in IT. I call them the 3-headed monsters. They're the 3-headed Patel monsters who are doing 40 hours a week in IT. They all have day jobs. And they just went and beat the international superstars of cricket. It's a great story if you just ignore that they're not really American. If you just, I mean, I guess that is American. That's the thing about America, is that we are the melting pot.
Yeah.
But there should be, at least you were born here.
Yeah, I think.
Well, you know who just got dual citizenship?
Who?
Our guy Dante. Dante's officially an Italian citizen, and he said his exact tweet was, "Once I'm done cleaning up this city and then cleaning up this country, I am out of here to Italy, and you'll never see me again." Like he's fucking Batman or something. Once I get done with this country, you'll never see me. What are you talking about? You're a DJ, dude. You're a fucking DJ. You're just hanging out with Shabuzi. You're not going to change the country. Okay?
Not for the better, at least. You have an option for a slim chance to change it for the worse, but I don't know about for the better.
All right, let's do our voicemails. Oh, we'll be at cricket. We're going to go to the cricket match on Wednesday, America versus India. I don't know who. I'm not sure. If Ireland lost and India won the other day, I think that match doesn't even matter at all. We're going to be through. But whatever. Here's our boy. Factor meals are here for the summer. I am a huge fan of Factor. One of my favorite companies out there. No prep, no mess meals. I appreciate the people who want to cook. I appreciate the people who are learning different recipes, and you have your 30 minutes and you cook it. That's all well and good. For me, pop that baby in the microwave, 2 minutes, 45 seconds. you are done. And the food is delicious. All sorts of different sauces and spices, and all of the meals are really high prep. I think the first wave of these things, like the no prep meals initially, were just like very bland and very plain. It was just like grilled chicken and rice, and I was like, ugh. Factor has all sorts of stuff. They have all sorts of different menus, all sorts of different cuisines, different options like Calorie Smart and Protein Plus and Keto if you wanted to match your diet, or they just have delicious food if you just don't want to deal with dishes and cooking and you're on the go and all that stuff. They have Factor Fresh, never frozen meals, dietitian approved, ready to eat in 2 minutes. No matter how busy you are, you always have a easy and enjoyable, nutritious meal. 35 different meals to pick from with 60 different add-ons. So the combinations are like 1 billion. And it's effortless for your freestyle. So choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage your calories, maximize your protein intake, avoid meat, eat well-balanced, whatever it is you choose from. Head over to factormeals.com/KFC50 and use code KFC50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code KFC50 at factormeals.com/KFC50 for half off your first box, 20% off your next box while your subscription is active.
What's good, crew? Got a quick question for you. The other day, me and the boys were drunk, somehow got on the topic of medieval time period. When the question came up, how many chefs do you think were executed because the king's taster was allergic to whatever they cooked? Like, I would be so pissed. Like, imagine it was your first day on the fucking job, like, yo, I fucking made it. I'm about to cook for the king. And then somebody who has a food allergy who couldn't handle it just died. And then you thinking you killed it. And then it's like, oh, actually, you're going to die next because you tried to kill the king. Fucked up. So let me know.
I don't think they had allergies back then. I know it's very, like, you know, cliche to be like, fucking Gen Z and their food allergies, but I do think allergies, like, get worse.
Yeah,
as
I don't
time
know.
Goes on.
I would imagine they existed in some. They probably weren't as popular as they are.
Like, I don't know if there was like gluten allergies back then. I feel like that's something that is like developed.
That was one of those things that too. You had so many problems. Like, I don't know what's causing it.
My skin's falling off, man. Like, we don't have plumbing. Like,
you have dysentery, and you're like, it can't be the bread.
Right. You're dying from cholera, and actually you just had celiac disease. So, yeah, who knows? But that
would be funny if you're just watching the king eat, you see, like, his ears start swelling like Hitch. Like, boy, this is going to be bad. That one's going to come back to me. I knew I shouldn't have put
the shrimp in there. God damn it. It's the shellfish, wasn't it? In a similar vein, Tommy posted this, and I think we've had this debate before, but it's a good one. What year is the cutoff for you? The question is, you live your normal life as is today, or you are the richest person in this time period? What year do you...
I mean, it'd be pretty goddamn recent.
Yeah, like, I think Tommy said 1991.
I think it's... I'm talking like a decade ago.
Really?
Honest to God, there wouldn't be an answer. I would not do it, no matter what.
You would just keep your regular life.
Yeah, I would have no interest in being the richest man
I
in the
know
world.
that they said Rockefeller was a billionaire at like the turn of the century, which was equivalent to like $800 billion. It was like he was borderline a trillionaire. He controlled like something like 90% of the oil in the country. It's fucking crazy. So like, it's unimaginable wealth. He could do like literally whatever he wanted. And it's like, 1900s not that crazy, but it's like they probably didn't really have like running water and electricity like in the way that we want it and know it and need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like you're riding horses and shit like that. So it's like, this is highly inconvenient. I guess the real question is, do you have your like your brain,
aware of what else?
But if not, then it's like then there's no point. You take the money because it's like you're never gonna even worry about this. But there still is something to be like the age expectancy was like 30. Maybe a good thing. I don't know. It depends on how you want to do it. But for me, I said whenever air conditioning was invented, because the television had already been invented. If I have TV and air conditioning, but then you think about TV and it's like, well, I need it like cable TV.
Yeah.
So that's like 1989 or whatever. Like that's very recent. but maybe I could live as like a sultan.
But that has
boring.
no appeal to me.
Yeah, I don't think-
living like, first of all, the attention you have for
Yep.
being the richest person in the world, and just the responsibilities. I don't want all of those.
Well, that
Like,
is, I think you can be one of those guys who's just like, I don't know, kill him. Like you don't want to be like president, but you could.
That's
be
the
like,
responsibility.
Oh yeah, you don't want to do that. You don't
I
wanna
don't
be a
want the
mass murderer,
responsibility.
Okay. You don't want to be
Nah,
Genghis
you can
Khan?
just fucking kill him. No, I don't want the responsibility of choosing life and death for other people.
Okay, fine. You know what I don't like? When they always portray it as like the woman's feeding you grapes and there's someone like fanning you. I'd be like, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah.
Who are all these fucking people? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that I don't like. But if we're talking about like the basics that I need, it's got to be air conditioning, television. Those are like the main ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good.
Right.
We were talking about it. We did the bracket, and we were doing bracket fictional houses. Maybe we might have talked about this. And I think it came down to Big Daddy's apartment and Wayne Manor. And I forget what won out. I think Big Daddy's apartment did, but whoever was making the argument for Wayne Manor was like, why would you? Because I kept saying New York was. I kept choosing places that were in New York.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I like it here. I want to stay here. And they're like, well, Wayne Manor is just like an hour away. Why don't you just take that? It's a huge house. And I was like, I have a 2-bedroom apartment currently, and one of the bedrooms is empty.
Yeah, you
I don't
even
have
use
anything
it.
in that room.
I know.
There's
I know.
literally nothing.
I know.
What the fuck would I do with a manor?
Dude, when I have a big enough house now that when the kids aren't around, I'm like, this is ridiculous. I like seal off like this. I'm like in one room air conditioning it. And the rest is gone unused. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I never understand when celebrities buy like a $50 million home, like that has like 25 bedrooms.
Yeah.
50 Cent had 50 bathrooms in his apartment, in his house. What the fuck is that about? 50 bathrooms? Is insane. You have 50 toilets? What is that? What is that?
Like, it's complete nonsense.
It's just like just to flex, just to be like, look at this. But there are,
But even as the flex, so you tell someone, they go, well, that's unnecessary.
yeah. To me, it's
That
like
seems silly to have.
You unless you have a oddly big family. If you have like 6 bedrooms, that's like too many.
Yeah.
So when you start to talk
Although-
about,
I think we had 5 when I grew up.
yeah, I think 5.
Yeah.
A big house is 5. I think when you get to 6, you start to be like, all right, I think we have like 2 guest houses, 2 guest rooms, and anything above that is really weird. So when you,
But
have
we
like,
had everyone was
You need to have a
that
big
was the
family.
amount of bedrooms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was the amount of people who lived in the home.
right. But if you start to have 5, 6 kids, like it starts to get weird. You know?
Yeah. People thought it was so weird that my parents had 4 kids. Like
4's a lot.
and
And
like
4's a real lot now.
it would be, we were kind of the family that had all their kids over and stuff like that. So when we went out to dinner,
You're a fucking squad.
everyone would have a friend. So
Yeah.
it was.
It's 2
4
parents, 4
became
parents,
like 10.
12. Yeah, like that.
It was like, here's the Feidelberg Baby Factory.
Yeah, it's a lot. I find it very. I'm really interested in this depopulation thing going on. The fact that like modern life means people don't have kids is very funny to me.
What do you mean?
Like people are not having kids, right?
Yes.
I think it's because they're just like, we make money and we're like living a life that we like and we're not going to fuck it up with kids. Like we don't need like it, you used to have a big ass family to like farm the land, and then like when that wasn't necessary anymore, people are still having like 3 or 4 kids, and now it's getting to a point where people are like, I'm only going to have like 1, maybe 2 of these things. And it's like the world is going to like stop spinning as we know it.
Yeah, I think
like
in
the
2
people are like
generations,
predicting
the population is going to play.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I just think we might be the first generation that is aging appropriately, in the sense
Probably.
that we altered when we're aging.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we're living for 30 more
Longer
years.
yes,
We're
I
not
agree.
finding our love at 18
Right.
and getting married at 22 and having kids at 25. And a lot of people are doing that, but clearly
A
it
lot of
seems
people
like
aren't.
not enough are.
Yeah.
But like I just know my world, right? And in my circle of friends who are all my age, one has gotten married and has kids.
Yeah.
Everyone else other people are starting to do
Close.
it now.
Yeah.
That,
But that should be about right.
I
Like
have
mid-30s
2
instead
weddings,
of
3 weddings this
mid-20s.
year. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's everyone lives 10 years longer. We pushed everything back 10 years.
Yeah, I don't understand why that's like an apocalypse. I think I don't know, some of these places that are overcrowded, if there were less people, I'd be like, that's okay. I don't know. I guess it's weird in Japan. In Japan, it's like, in Japan, they have so many old people, and they're breeding so slowly that, like, when that chunk of people dies, they're just going to lose, like, 30% of the population. And they're like, if something happened to a country where you lost 30% of your people, it would be a war crime. It would be an apocalypse.
Yeah.
It would be doomsday. And that's just going to happen naturally. Because, so it's like all these, I don't know, all these jobs and all these buildings and all these things are just like, well, we don't need those anymore because we have a fraction of the people. I think that's very funny. And it's like, and we're telling, like, we know it, I guess. They're telling the world. And people are like, I'm still not having kids.
Yeah.
Like, the country is going to fall into shambles. And it's like, well, I don't know. I'm only having one kid. My life will fall into shambles if I have 3 kids. So I'll try it.
It's funny you mentioned Japan because I was reading a book recently called Ikigai. And it's about the blue zones, which are where a disproportionate amount of the population
Or men?
lives to 100.
Oh, okay.
And it's just the ways what people do. And it's so ridiculous that things like this get so popular. It's just the things.
Yeah, like
They just
exercise, eat healthy, drink water.
They do the fucking things.
Sleep. Yep. It's all of the fucking stuff.
But Japan is a large, like most of the blue zones are in Japan.
Yeah,
It's
I
very
can
much
see
over
that.
there. There's a lot of
I could definitely see
100-plus-year-old people, and it's just like, well, we don't have a word for retirement because they keep working. It's like, okay.
That
Like,
kind of sucks. I
But
don't
like
that
that's
part.
it's like the thing we know that we make make a joke out of it where once you have anything to live for you die. Yeah, I fucking do that.
Right,
and
right.
eating healthy is good for you. I fucking do that. I read it not because I've been curious. I'm not trying to
Live to 100.
live that. But I was just kind of curious about.
It is wild though how many people just don't do the things.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, I know this is bad for my body. I'm gonna eat it anyway. I know I should work out. I'm not gonna do it. And I'm still like at least active enough and can do shit. The people who are just like on rascal scooters and stuff, who really like let it go. It's just like you only have one of these lives and you let this happen. But it's like, I don't care. I'm eating Cheesecake Factory tonight. Like,
I always tell
crazy.
a story. It's one of my buddy. When he confronted me about how fat I was, and he was just we were in Newport and we were sitting in lawn chairs on like a driveway. We were like, I was probably like 22, and I was wearing sweatpants outside in the summer, and I had them rolled up, and I wasn't wearing a shirt, and I was just sitting there drinking a beer, and he just goes, just let me know when you want me to say something. And I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, just about all this. Let me know when you want me to comment on all this.
That's the comment.
I was like, all right.
That's the comment.
I think you did.
That was it.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you need that moment. I think about it like, I always laugh. I'm always driving into the city, and the amount of times there's traffic for like a little fender bender where somebody just like boom knocked your bumper, and we stop traffic, and you're exchanging fucking information, and the cops are there and shit, and it's like it's called a bumper. You bumped a bumper. You can just go about your life and just have like a little nick on your car, but we treat it like if you have a scratch on your car, a bump on your car, whatever. And then we treat our bodies like you're driving in Grand Theft Auto, like just smashing into shit and fucking tires popping, doors falling off. You're just like, whatever, man.
But they are damn near indestructible.
Right.
Like it's
And even if you do like destroy it, once you get back on the right track, it filters it out pretty quick, and you're like back on the right path. The human body is fucking gangster.
It's crazy.
It really is.
So hard to die.
Yeah, I know. It really is, man. The amount of times that we both should have kicked it, I don't know.
If it was easy to die, I think I would have died 10,000 times.
Yeah. Yep. Well, unfortunately for you, John, it's pretty hard. Next up.
What's up? KFC
What the fuck?
fights.
The beans?
So I was just making a quesadilla, and the can opener wasn't working. Either that or I couldn't figure out how to work it, so I just opened the can with a knife. And at first I thought I was pretty clever for that, and then I realized that's probably just how everyone opened cans before the can opener was invented. And honestly, I think using the knife was a lot easier than using a can opener. So I don't think I'm gonna buy a new can opener. I think I'm just gonna use a knife for now on. So that leads me to the question: what common tool or thing that most people use do you think you could live your life without ever needing? Thank you.
How he sent this video in
Insane.
is beyond me.
Bro, that can is so mangled. It looks like you got in like a 12-round fight with it, and you're like, I think it was easier with the knife. When everyone else just goes, and like the top perfectly comes off. It's like this beautiful round top.
Dude,
It is definitively easier to use a can opener.
Imagine you just heard like a huge ruckus going on downstairs, and you went down there and you saw Shay covered in packing peanuts with fucking cardboard strewn about the house. Like, this was so much easier than cutting open the tape. You're like, what's wrong with you, dude?
Bro, I mean, I've done this before. You open a can without a can opener. It is impossible.
Yeah, I've done
banging it. You're smashing it. You're cutting yourself on the fucking metal. It's like probably, if we were to do like the opposite of this question, it's probably this.
Yeah.
Like you need can openers to open cans. That's how hard it is.
By
the way, kind of I don't know if I dislike it or like it, but homemade quesadillas to get the beans out is commitment. That's a lot.
I literally did it yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
If I'm making one at home, I'm doing chicken, cheese, but I don't think I'm getting the beans out. That's a lot.
I hello freshed it.
Good for you.
But I've done every step of this video except taking the video and
telling the world,
smashing the Staples button, going, that was easy. Like every time
afterwards, I'm like sweating. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
I gotta get a fucking can opener. I don't have the stamina to do this again.
If you don't know how to use a can opener, you're retarded. It is pretty. It's pretty fail.
He said he couldn't do it or it broke.
One or the other. It looked like a pretty standard. Didn't look like a great can opener. It looked like a shitty one. But
no, but those are the best ones. The
just
fancy
the old school
can
ones?
openers suck.
I
You're like, just attach it here and hit this button. It'll go. No.
But you do need
fucking twisting.
You do need like the black handles. That thing was all.
Yeah,
metal. That looked like it was.
I grew up on an old. I think I grew up on like my mom's grandma's fucking.
Yeah.
So I know the war.
I definitely think about it with. I think corkscrews. You need the middle. I don't want the one that the waiter has where you just fold out the corkscrew and it becomes like a T and you twist it in that way. But I don't need this electronic bullshit.
I'm good. I like
the one that has like it looks like a little man.
Yeah.
I like that because that you crank it easy and you just pop it. Sometimes if I can do it with like the regular one, but if you miss on that, you're fucked.
Yeah.
And then the cork breaks apart and all that. Where the one in the one that looks like a man, you get right in the middle and it has like the thing that guides it.
I've never figured out a can opener.
This thing?
Gotten it twice in my life.
What do you think's so hard about it?
I can't. There's like 7 different components to it. I can't figure out where the can got. To this day I don't know where the can.
We
goes.
should get a can opener. Can you run into the kitchen and see if there's a can opener?
No, I mean like I'm not gonna be. I'm gonna tell you right now. Like I'm not gonna be able to do it.
Well, yeah, that's the point. That's why I'm telling you.
I get what you're saying. Like I will. It's probably 50, it's like plugging in the USB. Like it's 50-50, which if I get it right first try, because you have to clamp it the right side.
Yeah.
So sometimes you'll start spinning it and you'll realize it's not cutting anything, and you go, oh, it's the other side, and you flip it over.
I suppose so.
It's not clear what side.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
I just want to back my guy up.
Is it though? Because I think then you just crank, you can clamp it however you want, and if you're spinning it this way, nothing's cutting. I think you just spin it the other way.
Oh, I usually just flip it over.
I think that does the same thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think like you see like the two like metal like saws that are like that's what cuts it open, you know?
But it's not that clear.
It's not. You're right. I'm with you, but it's a pretty.
I mean,
quick...
I guess if you give it to like a child, they would be. Do we have one?
Oh my god! I thought there was no way that he's gonna.
Me too.
Wait, we need a can though.
Are you on camera? Yeah.
We don't need a can.
We need a can. You can't see if a can opener works without a can.
I don't know if we're gonna be able to find a can.
You get a can downstairs at Dwayne Reed.
No, it's
okay.
This is so not worth it. Like,
is there
it's
just Dwayne Reed?
Yeah, there is. Jackie's probably right. It's probably not worth it, but
no, it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. We'll do it at the end.
Oh my god. This is. I would imagine it goes in there. This one
yeah,
feels a
like
bit
what?
More.
What would you get wrong?
Okay, this one feels a little bit better. But even I don't know.
All right, we'll wait for the can to come.
Okay.
We'll answer the question while that happens. What piece of technology or tool do you think you don't need?
Well, that's a tough. That's a Bluetooth came to mind right away.
You know what I don't like? This is a little bit off topic. Ring cameras.
Perfect.
Why
completely
are we
agree.
fucking filming our whole house?
Completely agree.
Especially if you live with some other people, it's like not like you're doing anything wrong, but I don't know. You have weird moments. You want to scratch
bit of
something,
fucking
or
privacy.
you fucking do something goofy. You're singing, you're dancing, whatever. It's like, oh fuck, I'm being filmed in my own house.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
I got
for the 1% chance that there's a burglar or some shit.
It's insane to me.
Nuts.
I got a buddy who he's fucking a lunatic, and he like everything in his house is all fucking cameras and shit like that. And we'll be out grabbing a drink,
looking on his phone,
and his phone will just keep going, and it'll say like motion in this room, motion in that room, motion in that room. I'm like, yeah, dude, you get a notification. You have 2 kids,
right? It's like
it's your fucking kids. They're running around.
If you live alone and you're getting notifications, there's a problem. Otherwise, or like I don't know, there's fucking animals, there's wind, trees blowing. I don't know. It's just like it's crazy to me that like even when I I'm convinced that my house is either haunted or I have squatters, and I went and got a Ring camera for like the one night. I was like I got to do something about this. And by the morning, I was like, I'm not putting these cameras.
Yeah.
Fuck this. It's just you don't need it, And I honestly think 50% of people get a Ring camera for like viral moments.
Yeah.
To be like, what if something funny happens in our house once? We can like put it on, the delivery man fell while he was bringing DoorDash. Let's put it on the internet.
I've done that where I stayed at an Airbnb, and I'm sorry, it wasn't an Airbnb. It was I don't know where we got it. It was a house PFT and I rented, and the like first night, it was just us like hanging out on the porch, drinking, very low key, nothing going on, and got a text the next day from the neighbors being like, hey, I'm sorry, from the owners being like, hey, maybe like don't be on the porch till midnight. Gets a little loud for the neighbors, whatever. And we're like, oh, sorry, did they complain? It's like, no, we just heard you on the Ring cam. It's like I want to be comfortable in this fucking house.
Right.
I don't want to feel like I'm being watched everywhere I fucking go.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
That's so weird. I mean, I'm sure you have money committed and you can't find anywhere else, but if that happened, I'd be like, I'm out of this fucking place. You guys are crazy. Give me my money back. You're nuts. Father's Day is almost here. Give your father the gift of meat. Not only is it going to be delicious meat for him to eat, but it's also you give him something to go grill. It's like the dad's like haven is out on the grill. When you want to get away from the kids, you want to get some peace and quiet, I'll be out on the grill cooking. There's 1,000 people at the party, at the barbecue, but you can just be on your own in front of the grill cooking up the meat. But he's got to have meat to cook, and that's where Omaha Steaks comes in. You give him a big delicious package of world-class steak for your world-class dad. They have not only just steaks, they have pork chops, chicken cuts, all sorts of different meat, hamburgers, jumbo franks. They got the desserts. They've got the special Omaha Steaks seasoning. So it all comes ready to go, frozen with the dry ice so everything stays fresh, and you can keep it for weeks and months on end, or you can whip it up all this summer. But time is running out. It's almost Father's Day, so don't wait till the last minute. Go to omahasteaks.com. And packages start at just $99 when you use promo code KFC at checkout. You get an additional $10 off, so it's $89. So $99 in general, $89 when you use code KFC at omahasteaks.com. Order now before it's too late.
We have 3 different ones.
Okay, let's go. Let's see. So we got 3 different cans for Jackie. Let's see what she can open
Salmon?
up.
Why would you get salmon?
Hell yeah, dude. By the way, before we get to this, I got to give a quick shout out to 15-year-old Steve, because I was just in the bathroom as he walked down the hallway and he was steaming.
Yeah?
Yeah.
My man. The early scouting report on Steve is that you work like a dog.
Yeah, hustle.
So that's good.
Hustle player.
Yeah, that's the very first thing that you need to do, because there are definitely some interns who do not, man. It's crazy.
Again, our
I
last
see him
intern
just sitting
would
in the
leave
game like
at
he's just sitting there.
yeah.
It's like, what are you dude, he's literally just sitting there. Every single time I walk by, I see the same one sitting in the same spot. I'm like, what is happening? All right, Jack, it's your time to shine.
Okay, well, now this seems kind of easy. Okay, but here's the thing: is what is confusing is like, is it flat or is it there?
Bang, you locked it in.
Okay. Okay.
Got it?
This is. I'm not gonna lie. This is actually a lot easier than that. This is the third can I've ever opened in my life.
So wait, did you like struggle with it one time and then just like avoid it for like the rest of your God-given life?
Well, no. Like I've tried like multiple times.
So what would you have done in the past?
This is like more. This is a lot better. This is more clear than the other ones. The one I grew up with, I guess, is a lot less clear. It's like one of these little things, and then
a big thing.
I just got smart. We know this. I'm getting smarter.
Jackie's getting smarter. So
Yeah.
over the weekend, I texted the gang. I said, "Do you guys want to go see cricket on Wednesday?" And Jackie was in right away. She was like, "That sounds amazing. Like, I got to check the schedule, but like, yes, I'm totally in." And then, so I'm working out like logistics. I'm like, we don't have any interviews that day, right? Maybe we'll drive. We'll do this or that. And Jackie says, "Excuse me." She goes, "This is the sport with horses and sticks, right?" And so naturally, I'm like, yup. And I was like, when you see these horses in person, they're so big and the game moves so fast. I've heard it is absolutely incredible.
As soon as you said that, as soon as you like matched my energy, I was like, no.
I should have just left it. I should have just left it and said like yes. And then by today, while we recorded this, she would have still thought it was polo. And I texted John and I said, hey, if you talk to Jackie, she's under the impression we're going to see polo, so obviously run with that. And like within 1 minute, you texted me back and you said, what did you say? You're like, okay, I looked it up. It's definitely not that.
There's no horses involved.
Yeah. I looked up. There's no horses involved.
What the fuck is cricket? Is it just baseball with a flatter stick?
It's a baseball-esque game. It's very different, but it is pitching and hitting with a bat. Yeah.
Okay.
But so I immediately went back to John. And I said, damn it, she figured it out. And then you tweeted me like, you texted me being like, I'm getting smarter or something. And he texted me the same exact time, like 6 months ago, she would have got tricked by that. It was like, yep, you're learning. It was like in Jurassic Park, like, clever girl. Yeah. The velociraptors have figured out how to open doors.
I still can't believe the fire people thing that I like.
What?
The fire people thing that you guys like went along with. Remember when I believed like
From Fire Island?
That was the worst. That was incredible. But that was almost like when you're still believing the urban legend stories. You know, you were early, it was new, and you're just believing stories that being told to you. It's like, yeah, I don't know, you guys fucking deceived me.
Pete Holmes has a joke about that. He's like, why am I the negative one from I'm gullible? You told me something and I took it as I believed it.
I don't think that everyone's just trying to deceive me with their random stories. Well, I'm happy you learned how to use the can opener. Now you can open up
What were
your
you
beans.
opening over there?
So I went with the albacore.
Albacore tuna.
But there's pink salmon, which is like.
Did you open it fully?
No, halfway. Why?
I was going to say, I might hit that.
Yeah.
Is it in water or oil?
I don't know.
It says it on the fucking can.
Tuna and water.
I might eat that. Bumblebee tuna in water is my name.
Yeah, it was gas.
People who do Star-Kissed, white trash. People who do in oil, weirdos.
Okay, this is actually like a great invention. This whole thing. You know what's the best invention that's so underrated? Shoehorn. Nobody
Really?
talks about a shoehorn. I tried one the other day. I also think like it's like the worst PR like for like very unsexy, not geared towards women at all.
Yeah.
Who have the nails? Like if I could do PR for a shoehorn, I don't really know what I'd do.
Maybe you
but
should invent a shoehorn for women. Give it a different name.
A shoehorn.
Shoehorn is
Anita.
weird. What? Shoehorn Lita?
Shoehornita.
You just put it on the end of it.
You guys, this is disgusting.
You don't eat tuna?
No. Like salmon, yeah.
Will you eat that right out of the can?
Yeah.
Yeah, I at least like drain it and wash it a little
fucking
bit.
whack that.
Really? Right now, you just.
Yeah. Let me get a fork real quick.
We'll get more on the camera.
Yeah. Why don't you come sit down?
And don't do it near me. And take the cap with you.
I actually.
And take the cap with you.
I wasn't trying to be an asshole. I just forgot.
Okay.
You forgot what?
I said nope as I walked out, but I didn't mean actually not get down.
This is some Charlie shit right here.
Yeah.
Eating tuna out of the can is either you're a meathead or you're poor and like homeless. It is good, but eating it right out of the can is like you're. Let me hit that. The hot sauce is key.
Delicious.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. Tuna in general, horrible PR.
Yeah.
Tuna, meatloaf, beans, really bad PR. These things are all very delicious and just need. They really don't know how to package. Like they also sell it in a bag. Who the fuck wants to eat fish out of a bag?
I did a bag for a while.
You need to like put it like display it like nicer. You know what I mean?
It is like if you put like cream cheese in it and like mash it up.
Oh, I do
That's
mayonnaise, cream cheese, huh?
good. No, yeah.
Cream cheese?
Yeah. Or
In
cottage
tuna?
cheese. Or cottage cheese for a little extra protein kick. Yeah, it's good.
I do mayo, and it is the whitest, literally and figuratively, thing in the world. It sounds disgusting when you're mashing it up, and it's so fucking fire. You put that on some Wonder Bread, toasted. Yep. Tuna in a pot. It's that wop. All right, so this guy's living with an 80-year-old.
You're not helping the PR for it.
This guy lives with an 80-year-old woman for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's in a wheelchair. She broke her hip, and she has no control over her bowels.
She's 74 years old, broken hip, with bowel issues. So she would have to get up and like run to the bathroom to poop, but she couldn't run or do anything because she's 74 years old. So she had to make the process faster. So she forego pants. 74 years old, just shirts and panties. That's all she was wearing. And she would walk real slow across the living room as I'm sitting there trying to watch TV. And I just had to keep my head down. That went on for about 3 weeks. And then after that, she decided even panties are too much. Couldn't do it. So I come home one day and dropping off the mail for her. I look down and there it is. Just old, leathery, hairy, worn down in all of its former glory. And just her hooch out in the open for everyone, God and everyone to see. That was actually my first one I've seen, which is awesome. I'll never forget it.
Wait, how old was he?
She did that for about 3 weeks too. One day she pooped on the floor. Came home to that, which was lovely. She asked me to help her clean it up. I said, I can't do that. I'm gonna throw up. There are a lot of other details in this that I couldn't fit in here. If you have any other, if you want to hear more about it, I'd be happy
What
to
else?
tell you. But the question is, what's the worst living situation that you've ever endured because you had to? Thanks.
Like, I maybe I missed it in the beginning, but like, this is like when people get mad that like when humans are mad at sharks. And it's like, you're in their environment and fucking up their shit, and you're going to blame them. You're living with an old woman with a broken hip who had shit problems. You're the problem. That's what happens to old people. You're the one who's choosing to live there as a young guy.
If she's still taking roommates, I might move in. Dude, I'm not turned on by any stretch of the imagination, obviously.
I would sincerely hope not, dude. What the fuck kind of sentence was that? Why did you just say that right now?
What?
Because the next thing I'm about to say is I'm kind of curious to see what an 80-year-old pussy looks like.
Oh my god!
Like I wouldn't want to be up close and personal with it. Here's the deal.
Google it? You want to Google it right now?
No. Because I bet they're all up close and personal. I want to see an 80-year-old pussy like I want to see a gorilla. Like I don't want to be fucked. I don't want to see eye to eye.
Yeah.
But if she happens to walk by the room,
Gorillas in the mist.
I go, whoa,
Vagina's in the mist.
that's what it looks like.
Pussy in the mist. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to see whatever kind of Google image is going to pop up.
I
but
do
just
get that, 'cause-
in its natural environment.
Because it's probably like you probably can't even see it. It's probably like there's like a.
But you can see enough of it that
You know
you,
what
go,
I bet they have like a it's like a fluppa, like a fat lower pussy area, not a fupa. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's stuff that like hangs over it and covers it. You know?
Yeah, there's stuff falling
like a
out
hood.
of it.
Yeah, right.
You're like, what
Right.
the fuck? Is that an intestine?
Push it back in.
Yeah, when you like an older shirt gets a little tattered, it's got some string hanging out. That's just like uterus.
You just cut it off.
It's like, was that a fallopian tube? Yeah,
take
get
a
your
scissor,
fallopian tubes
cut
back
your
in.
tubes. I once saw, I was on the D train at Fordham, and I saw an old woman who had her pants down to her knees and her shirt pulled up like over her tits. So it was just like knees to tits, homeless. And it was
Hairy?
Yep.
Yeah.
Harrowing experience, like just disgusting.
I-
Very, you know, it kind of nailed it. Leathery.
What is the hair window? Like
it was
how
all-
much
it-
thigh gets on?
Yeah, it
I
was-
want to see just a person who's just never shaved their puss.
Right. How much would it just keep
Where
going?
do we go?
I
in-
think you would get a full, like, bikini area. Like, I don't think it grows like.
You know with her thigh?
I don't think
bet
so.
you touch it.
Well, you do. I mean, like if you don't shave your legs, you would get hair, but it's not the same as like your pubic hair. Same thing for us.
I mean, like,
Like,
yeah,
like it
it's
grows
only,
more
like-
here than it does here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you'd never touched it,
Maybe. I bet there's a point of diminishing
There's like
returns.
yeah.
Like eyebrows. You know, like eyebrows
Yeah.
will just keep going. They know when to stop. I think you get like a bush and then it stops.
But it goes on the thighs a little bit. But then-
Yeah, like right there.
Yeah.
yeah, I want to see someone just out there fucking ripping it.
Some National Geographic
Yeah.
shit. Like
They're
like
like,
this is a
"Hell
tribe
yeah,
that doesn't
dude."
even know what razors are.
I always think it's weird that like of all the deformities, I've never actually seen someone with like, because like eyebrows up, like I'll get like a little bit here, but I've never actually seen anybody with like just hair all the way to there. You know? What
I got a buddy with a real 3 head. You kind of have a 3 head.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
You know?
That's a good thing.
I hadn't noticed until right now. But yeah,
I
you
would
kinda
kill
got
for that
3
hairline. I'd love that.
You got a
hairline.
little Eddie Munster going on, huh?
Why did you do this to yourself? Why did you do this?
I don't know.
You said I know. Like you just pointed it out.
I know.
You said I've never seen anyone who has this hair, and you pointed with your hands.
But I'm saying like,
and then you do have.
you don't
it.
think like you've never seen hair all the way down to the eyebrows.
No, but I've
No.
seen. Oh well, there actually are some wolf people out there, but they're like literally they're circus freaks. They call them like the wolf family. So those are like deformities.
Look at that 4. That's a forehead. That's a forehead.
That's like when you jam the fucking ruler into your dick deeper.
6 inches. It's 6. I swear to God.
They actually were talking about this the other day out there. I think Tommy has recently measured his dick. And he's like, you should do it again. Like, it gets bigger. And I don't think I've ever measured my dick.
But I also don't think it gets bigger. I feel like my dick is.
Well, I'm guessing he did it when he was like 13 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess bigger from there, but
I honestly just I don't think we definitely didn't have fucking measuring tape in our house. My dad had a toolbox that had like sticks in it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It was for sure no measuring tape, and I don't remember ever doing a ruler thing.
I remember I took a piece of string and held it up to my dick and then measured the string. Because that you can kind of like wrap on your tip.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, we're getting every last inch. Did you know that girl on TikTok who all she does is she's like this hot chick who she takes a tape measure and she like pulls it with her mouth and she does like different dick sizes. The guys in the comments comment like, I'm 5'8", 165, and my dick is like 4.5 inches. And she like pulls out 4 inches and shows that, and then she like comments on like, it's a little bit small, but like I can deal with it. And then there are guys who are like, 9.5 inches soft, and she pulls it out and she's like, this is too much for me. And it's all she makes, like that's all the videos she makes. It's just the same thing over and 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 over again. But she's a hot girl talking about dick size, so it gets a ton of views.
Thanks, Ray J.
All due to Ray J.
Wait, I have kind of a
But,
question that for some reason it reminded me of the gorilla thing. Okay, so I was with some people and they were like talking about there was like a bad situation that I don't know, and they were saying like, yeah, it's like a bird box situation, and I was like, what do you mean like a bird? Like they were blindfolded or whatever? And they were saying like, no, that's just like how we describe like there's just, you know, Bird Box, they were in a bad situation in Bird Box. But I was kind of like, Bird Box implies that there's like there's so many other movies where there's bad situations, and like Bird Box is like just really implies like you're blindfolded somehow. Like there's a lot of all the movies with bad situations. That's not what I think of. So what's the first movie that you think of with like the quintessential like bad situation? Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
Like where they're forced to.
Like if you were to say like that's a blank situation.
Yeah.
I'm more situation specific. I see a lot of movies. I can
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
If you're
deep in that
referencing Bird Box, you probably don't watch a lot of movies.
Like that's the most
that movie
random movie.
sucked.
Like I guess they're in a bad situation. There's so much else that goes on.
I mean, I guess you would probably pick like a zombie type thing, right? Like where you're like, you know, you're living like.
What was the situation?
I don't remember.
Bird Box was like if you open your eyes.
You kill yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that is a bad situation.
It's a tough
to
spot.
be in.
Yeah. Does the Bird Box mean anything else?
No,
No.
they're just like, I don't know.
And
that was like- I was like-
Bird Box situation here. This random guy's peeling my eyes open. The shit in this reminded me of Friday morning, I think it was. I woke up and had an email from someone who lives in my building, and it was to everyone in the building and the building management, and it was like, hey, unfortunately, coming home this morning from the gym or wherever they were coming home from, is like sent at like 7:30. It's like, I watched a homeless man defecate on the front steps. I just want to let my fellow tenants know and find out, you know, what the process is to clean that up. And then it just became this email chain, not exceptionally long or anything like that, of just people trying to figure out whose responsibility it is to clean up
the shit,
shit on the stairs.
That's great.
And it was like the building was like, I don't know, call the cops. Like, no, I didn't. He's gone now. It's just the feces remains.
That's like a Always Sunny episode where they'd be in court.
Yeah.
Right? Arguing with the lawyer.
I stepped over it 4 times that day.
Oh,
Yeah.
gross.
But honestly, I kind of am upset about the emailer because I just thought it was dog shit.
Yeah, now I know it's human.
Now
and
I knew it
I'm
was
thinking every
human
time.
homeless shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, that's pure garbage.
Literal waste.
That is
human waste.
terrible.
Instead of one last voicemail, I got a DM. I think it was like kind of like a marry, fuck, kill. It was this guy who's my like pimple popper video buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said, I realize I have the worst physical attributes of KFC radio. I have Feitz's gross hands. I have no eyebrows like you. And I have pepperoni nips like Jackie. Which is the worst of the three.
I was.
What? That's what I said to him. I was like, bro, get surgery and fix those
Yeah.
things, man. He said, as the owner of all three, he thinks it's the pepperoni nips. He said, my parents had a pool growing up, and I used to rub ice on my nipples before hanging out with my friends so they weren't the size of UFOs. That's some harrowing shit. That's like some, like, you will become, like, you might become a serial killer if you're that, like fix the nipples, dude. If every time you're like, I gotta see my friends, you're icing your nipples, you need to fix your nipples. He also, by the way, like, I have no eyebrows because of, like, I'm, like, kind of, like, losing the hair and it's blonde. He has, I think, like, alopecia. Like, he does not have the eyebrows.
Okay. Because I kind of have all 3 of these too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you do. You have the fight hands.
Yeah.
Somebody said to me the other day, how come nobody makes fun of Feidelberg for not having eyebrows? And I was like, you're fucking right.
Well, I don't do videos. Yours are out there a lot more.
That's probably it.
It's also the iPhone doesn't help you. Like an iPhone screen.
And the car, man. The car makes my eyeballs pop.
Yeah.
But my eyebrows go completely away. So I'm like, yeah, which, you know, the devil you know sort of thing.
I
fixed your nips, though.
I don't. I like pepperoni.
Maybe
nipples.
also I have a 3 head, but because I have good eyebrows.
You
that
do
it
have good
takes
eyebrows,
up,
yeah.
You know, so at least like,
It's crazy. Your hair and your
Stop
eyebrows right
looking at my
here.
forehead.
No, it's not even your forehead. It's over here. They almost touch. Like this
I'm gonna come to
hair.
work with
Like you have like a solid like 2 inches between like your eyebrow and your hair.
Yeah.
Jackie has like a centimeter.
Honestly, it's the Italian.
Like look at
Yeah.
Paz's difference.
Well, I have a
Jackie.
huge forehead. A big one.
Stop looking at my forehead.
You missed it. She was like, she just brought this upon herself.
No, I did. No, I literally.
She was just like, have you ever seen anybody whose hair like comes all the way down to their eyebrows? And then John was like, you.
No,
It's crazy.
Like, now that you pointed out, you really don't have much before it.
That's a good thing.
Have you
by the
thought
way.
about this?
You don't want to have a
Have
big
you thought
forehead.
about this? Or are you
I'm
projecting?
always thinking about. I'm always like, should I shave
No.
the top of my hairline?
This is how girls are so fucking crazy. Like, you want to have a big forehead and not have like a like.
No,
that's
but
crazy.
I was at a bar Memorial Day weekend, and a guy had probably a hairline similar to yours, maybe not quite as bad. And he did exactly that.
Yeah.
But
He shaved it?
He shaved it.
But then you have to constantly.
But he hadn't shaved it in a while.
So
it was
different lengths.
very clear. Like right here was a bunch of short.
Terrible.
And it was all I could talk. It's all I could think about. It's all I could look at. It's all I could like. It's like this guy. You have to hit the bic with it every morning.
all the
Like,
time because you have different
He had
lengths.
more than a 5 o'clock shadow. I had to, like,
Remember when Glenny got his
yeah,
widow's
yeah.
peak?
It
Yeah,
was
you
it
can't
was
do
similar
that.
to that. Only his was much worse than Glenny's. Even.
Right.
And it was like all the way down to here. It was crazy.
Every minute of your life, I'd be shaving. You don't want a big forehead.
I know, but
You know who's got the best hairline? Jerry Ferrara.
Really?
Jerry's is like fucking straight as an arrow. Just bam.
The
You got a good hairline in the front.
I hear it's all right. I got the pepperoni nipples.
oh, yeah. Sorry, I cut you off.
Dude, I used to like be at the beach, like before I could like exercise and stuff like that. Like I just had flab, and so I would like beach or pool, and I would
me
like
too. Before I could exercise.
I would like pinch my nipples so they could get hard, so they weren't as like fucking big. Because when they get hard, they would contract and get smaller.
Yeah.
And
Really?
yeah,
Your nipples get smaller when they get hard?
for sure, right? I mean, I feel like maybe I'm weird,
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
and so I'd be at the pool, I'd be like.
Nipples are hard. Like, nipples are weird. You can sit, like, so your stomach isn't fat. You can do, like, a lot of things, but your nips are just out there.
If I was at a pool, it would be like, I'd be like, I'm going to get the pool. And I would, like, run and take my
Get in
shirt off as
as
I did.
fast as you could.
So I jumped in because then the water, because they'd get cold again. So if they were cold, if they were hard, they
I thought you were
weren't
just gonna say,
as,
under
like,
the water.
puffy and fucking weird looking. And so, I mean, I still have, like, puffy, weird nips, but they're, like, I don't know, just like they're hard now because I just pinched them.
I never worried about my nipples.
I've told you, like, this one doesn't work as well.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
one doesn't
yeah.
work as well, so sometimes I have to, like, kind of blow on it.
I dated a girl who had an inverted
What?
nipple.
Yes, like it.
She
One
had
time?
she had an inverted nipple, so she would push it and it would pop. It's like when we started to have sex, she would just be like,
Let me get my little micro dick out.
yeah, basically. Well, I guess as the Frankenstein who has all three things, what's the worst? The
Nips.
The nips, yeah.
Nips, for sure.
Yeah, nips are really tough. I mean, at least as a girl, you get to cover yours, though. You know, most of the time. Like for guys,
Yeah.
the worst moment in a guy's life, truly maybe, is the first time you are uncomfortable wearing a t-shirt.
Yeah.
That is a moment where you're like, I have never worried about this. I guess it was probably earlier for you than most, but like when you're a kid, you don't think about it ever. And then like if you don't work out, and you're 20,
as a kid, I was very self-conscious in t-shirts.
yeah, but I think because you got a weird nipple.
Yeah.
I'm saying like I had normal nipples, but the
I think
minute
it's because you're a freak.
you're a circus. I think it's not like my nipples. It's like when you start to get like man boobs, sort of. You know, it's like. You know, if you have a hoodie on, a sweatshirt on, whatever, you never think about it. It used to also be t-shirts. And the minute you put on a t-shirt and you're like, wait a minute, this looks awful. It's like, well, I'm going to have to deal with this for the rest of my life. That is truly a rock bottom moment. And it's like, just do some push-ups. I'm like, nope, I'm just going to fret about this until I die. Sounds good. All right, Gary Vider's on the show. Like I said, great interview. The special is out, and the new series sounds absolutely amazing. Check it out with Gary because it's a great sit-down with me and him. We'll see you guys in a couple days. Listen up, renters. Ever feel like you're stuck in this loop of rent payments, just watching your money vanish into thin air? It's time to turn that rent game around and start earning some serious rewards. That's where Bilt Rewards comes in. Bilt is groundbreaking as the first rewards program that hooks you up with with points on your rent. Even if you're still rocking the old school rent check vibes, Bilt Rewards has got your back. They'll mail the check for you. It's like having a personal rent-paying assistant. Every month, pay your rent and watch the Bilt points roll in. Use points to jet off on a dream vacation. Put your points towards a flight or a hotel stay with 500 different airlines and 700,000 different hotels and properties. Earn points by paying rent right now when you go to joinbilt.com/KFC. That's joinbilt.com/KFC. Make sure to use your our URL so you know that we sent you. It's joinbilt.com/KFC to start earning points with your rent payments today. All right, we got Gary Vider in the building. What's up, man?
What's up, man?
A little one-on-one with me. My
yeah.
my co-host is away. He had a death in the family, so he had to zip out. But so you get me all alone.
I love it. I'm happy. I mean, I'm sorry, but I love it.
Well,
you know.
So the new special's out, right? It
Yeah.
could be worse.
That's right.
And I feel like you are one of those guys that is like every comic I talk to likes Gary Vider, which I always feel
that's
like is one
nice.
of the biggest, compliments you can get.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it. I mean, I've been doing it a while, so it's good that I've definitely met some great comics along the way, and I appreciate like the ones that I've met along the way that they're definitely established and they've helped push me and definitely have pushed the special too.
How's the reception of the special been? Okay.
So far so good. Yeah, it's on YouTube. I mean, YouTube
Yeah.
is just like it's a crazy platform where it's like, you're putting it out and you're just hoping for the best, and then but luckily I've gotten a good push from some comics, and that's given the numbers a nice boost, and then hopefully it continues.
YouTube is all at once like the best thing and the worst thing in the world for me. Like I think it's by far the best platform for comedy, video content, all that stuff, and it's only going to get bigger. I feel like we're still like at the very, very infancy of it, but there's the one side of it's like it's very much like a meritocracy. You know what I mean? Like if people watch it, it goes.
I was gonna say I don't know what you mean. That was a big word, but yeah,
yeah. Like it's just like if you're bad, it's not gonna succeed. If you're good. But there is also this other side of it where it's the algorithm, and you gotta like play by the rules, and it's gotta be perfectly done at the right time and the right length and the right this and the right that. And it's like
for sure. And also, like, the whole thing is, like, I'm betting on myself that hopefully, like, I had to put up all the money by myself.
Really?
And like that, yeah.
Wow, that's not well. I've talked to a few comics about this too. I remember talking to Mike Cannon about it because he did the same thing. He put up a bunch of money. I feel like you guys are overpaying. I got a guy here who'll do it for like
all right, well,
probably like a fifth of what you guys are paying. Don't tell him.
I'll tell you. Yeah, I mean, I barely move around on stage.
Yeah,
too,
it's
so
not like we're shooting a Michael Bay movie here,
right. But yeah, it came out well. The guy who actually directed it, he was awesome, James Webb, and he killed it because like we did it at the Village Underground, which is part of the Comedy Cellar, and he like dressed it up nice with like curtains, so it looks like its own special thing. So he definitely, I mean, hands down worth every penny. But like, I mean, obviously I want it to like do well, and it's just it's a crazy thing because you're just sitting and waiting, and it's just like it's only been out for about like 7 days.
Yeah, and you start to look at like
you look at the numbers, but like you said, you're hoping for the best. You're hoping like, all right, like it came out on Tuesday last week, and it was like it started at 10 a.m. It's like, is 10 a.m. the best time?
Oh,
is it?
And then
Or it was right after Memorial Day. I'm like,
is that good? Is that bad? I don't know.
Yeah, and then somebody was like, people aren't checking. They have to get back and they have to check all their emails when they get back. I'm like, is that true? I mean, like, I look at stuff and like, and also like look at emails, like you're going
and it's
through
also
everything.
like I didn't send them an email. I put out a comedy special.
Exactly. Yeah, this is better. So it's like maybe this would delay you looking at emails.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no. I feel like everything, and then you have YouTube Shorts and all this stuff that like you want it to be perfect, and it's like you're cutting up part of your special, and it might be taking things out of context from what you're talking about.
Brother, I don't want to bore you with nerd talk, but I've been saying it. I've been shouting it from the mountaintops that YouTube Shorts is just like it's the biggest fake smoke and mirrors thing on the internet.
For sure. It's not saying like any, and there are some good clips, of course, especially like, comedy related, but it does take things out of context, and sometimes it's like just benefiting somebody who's just saying like a key word that really just gets a lot of hype.
Are you thinking of something specific? Did you get fucked over on a clip?
No, but it's like, you have to set in like, jokes, you got to set it up.
Yeah.
So it's going to, it might take, I mean, a sentence to get it out, and nobody has patience anymore.
I know, it's got to be under 60
Yeah,
fucking
and
seconds.
I talk pretty slowly.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm like,
I was gonna say you're not getting anything out quickly.
No, yeah. They're already sleeping, man.
It's such a good, it's a very useful tactic the way you use your voice.
Yeah,
the
trying,
pacing
yeah.
is very funny.
It's calming, and then it helps definitely with like, because I do tell jokes that are in shorter length technically, so like a little bit like one-liner-ish. So I guess going along with like the way that I sound, I guess it's helpful.
What do you think of the people who are at this point, especially on YouTube, you can almost make a living, or at least have a presence online, just by critiquing and posting about comedy.
Yeah.
There's a few accounts that, all you got to do is, and usually it's negative, of course, because it's the internet and people hate.
Right.
But these guys put out something like, fuck this special, or fuck this podcast, hundreds of thousands of views, and a whole cult of commenters who, all agree with it, and they're just gonna keep doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it just feeds into everything. I mean, Reddit, obviously, it's like the same deal. It's like, people commenting, and just whatever way they could get the algorithm working, and that's, engagement is the key for that. So it's like people feed off of negativity.
I know.
So,
it's hard. It's hard having been on the internet my whole life, and having been a guy who's written blogs and done podcasts and made videos being like, fuck this and fuck that.
Yeah.
You can't turn around and then be like, how come you guys aren't being nice on the internet? But there is something to be said for, like, if you genuinely don't like something, or feel like someone is terrible, or selling out, or cheating the system, or whatever, fine, go ahead. But my problem is, I think a lot of these guys maybe did that once or twice and saw the reaction, and now are like, who else can I say this about?
Yeah, I mean,
or I'm going to double, triple, and quadruple down on the same thing every time because I just want to see those.
Yeah, it's
those
way
results.
harder to be creative than, like, anybody could be critical.
Totally.
So it's like, you're creating something, each day. When you make like your current events post and put that out, that's not easy to do.
No.
You're doing it very fast.
Yeah.
And it's like,
we're polar opposites, brother.
Yeah, I know. But you'll get backlash for, I mean, here and there. I mean, there's definitely, I see the comments. There's more positivity than the negative stuff. So it's like the negative stuff's going to come, and it's like, I look at it as like same thing with like restaurant reviews. It's like you see these owners who will like comment with the people who say something negatively, but it's like really the ones you want to focus on, the positive people, because those are people who are tuning in.
Right.
They'll tune in next time.
At the same time as saying all this, though, I also feel like within the comedy world, comics can maybe be the most critical of all. They're not going to mouth off about it and try to ruin anybody. But I feel like within your world, everyone's kind of like, this is good, that's not good, this is deserving, that's not deserving.
They might not they're not going to voice that necessarily online. So I think you'll get more. Comics are, I think everybody, for the most part, we know how hard this is. So it's like, at least publicly, you're going to, no one's really going out of the way unless somebody like really harms somebody.
And
then, but
stealing a joke or some shit like that.
Yeah, stealing a joke. And and even now it's like, if you look at it, there's so much stuff online. People forget the next thing. Like you don't want, and sometimes somebody accusing somebody of stealing a joke, it's not like they actually stole a joke. It's like, maybe they just thought of the same thing. Mm-hmm. Like you never know. Mm-hmm. So it's like, unless there's like so many multiple, instances where this is happening, then you could be like, all right, this person is clearly taking
when it's like a side by side and it's word for word and they were on tour with them or something like that.
Sometimes people would be like, oh, I've heard that joke before, and it's like, well, and then it's like they'll like say it and it's in this clip and it's like, that's me. It's like,
no fucking way.
Yeah. It would be like, that's
someone has tried to tell you you stole a joke and then sent you a clip of your own shit.
They would say, no, that's not send. They'll be like, they'll be naming like where like the joke, and I heard it there. I'm like, that is me that said that at that comedy club.
That sums it up perfectly.
Exactly.
That's unbelievable.
So a lot of times there's no evidence, or it's like you never really know, or somebody could be like, I've heard that before, and it's like a premise, but a premise is a common thing. Like people think of the same thing. It just really depends on the direction.
Yeah, I mean, especially now where it would be one thing back in the day where it's like you could really only get comedy at the clubs and the occasional like HBO special or something.
For sure.
Now it's like you're inundated with comedy. There's going to be
and just like, social media, everyone's just trying to pump stuff out. So it's like you just keep on going, and it's like, there's going to be a crossover of like similar thoughts and ideas.
What'd you think of when Katt Williams went nuclear? 'Cause that was the one guy who did say it all publicly.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that's it's great, but it also and like goes back where you're saying negative things that gets hits.
Yeah,
you know. So
if he sat there praising everybody, nobody would have talked about that.
Right, but he did. You know, he did his thing, and he had a special coming out. You know, so
I wonder. Let me see what that's at. I remember it being like
it was on. It was Netflix, right? Yeah.
No, it was on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the special might have been. I'm saying.
Oh,
the podcast.
With Shan Sharp. Yeah.
Yeah, that was on YouTube, and I remember it being like. Maybe like 2 or 3 days later.
It was like 28 million.
It got to like 50 million. It was crazy. So I want to see what it's at now, because that was, I think, on pace to be like the biggest podcast probably ever.
Yeah.
Let's see where we're at here. 70 million.
All right. Well, we got to beat. We got to beat that.
Yeah. Everybody go click.
You know, hear who I hate? All right. Shane Gillis. No, he's great. That's a big name. You got to throw that out there.
How about Shane getting in an Eminem video?
Oh, that's unbelievable. Yeah, I learned that from you.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
I said to Shane, I was like, out of all the cool shit you've probably gotten to do over the last few years, and Lord knows there's a bunch. I was like, that might be the coolest to me.
It's unbelievable. Video. I mean, he's on a rocket ship, and like it's crazy what's going on with his career.
I said it was the white man Super Bowl.
Yeah,
you get all the Gillis fans, all the Eminem fans.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I mean, who doesn't want to be in an Eminem video?
Yeah.
I mean, you just must have been like, dude, in a heartbeat.
That if you grew up, with Eminem at all, because it's been an ugly run for him later in his career, but the beginning of his career, he was, especially.
Oh, unbelievable!
I was like,
do you remember
13, 14,
MTV
15?
Spring Break when that came out? I was like,
best.
I was losing my mind.
The best.
I was like, this is the coolest guy ever.
Ever, man.
Yeah.
White T-shirt, jeans, the dyed hair. So for that,
there's a reason why I took ecstasy. I was like, oh, you should take pills.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, okay.
Literally, why like parents across America were trying to shut Eminem down. You are the poster child for it.
Hands down. I mean,
how
they
old
were
were
like,
you?
I did it for the first time. I was like 16 or 17.
Hell yeah,
like going,
man!
About to
wow,
go into my,
you're going.
And it was
after
actual legit like E.
Yeah, like none of that Molly shit. This is back in the day when it was ecstasy.
Exactly. This is like when you hear about like I didn't know what Quaaludes. I never took Quaaludes, but people would talk about it. I was like, this is what like ecstasy was. That's
our version of Quaaludes.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, people talk about Quaaludes like it's the fucking holy grail.
Yeah. I never knew anything about it, but I just know from like Wolf of Wall Street and then seeing that. But then also like people back in the day, like I remember either my parents' friends were like talking about it one day, and I remember it always stuck with me. I'm like, wow, that seems pretty awesome. Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder if like the elite really. Like if they still get like good shit.
Kids still get that?
Yeah, like it just seems to me like we hear so much about it, and I'm sure there's like a crooked scientist or chemist or whoever the fuck does it who's just like,
something
I'll make them. I'll just make them for the rich people and sell them for like $1 billion a pill.
I bet, yeah. But now it's like we didn't have to. I mean, we weren't worried about like fentanyl and anything like that.
Yeah, it was.
I was like, I thought that was all that stuff like people ODing. Like, I mean, you're in high school and college. You think like all that stuff is like a myth. Like that's not gonna happen here. Like nobody's like mixing things in.
No, you start.
I sold coke in college.
Get the fuck out!
And I did it because
I moved weight, Gary Vider?
Because I look like this, so I figured I could get away with it. So I did it for over 2 years. But
but the flip side is like they could just fucking run you for your shit and take all your drugs and money. No.
Well, so I was doing it because it was like I was in a fraternity, so I was kind of keeping it like in house between the fraternity, the sororities.
So you were like the plug.
Yeah, and then so I had that going for me, and then I did get robbed once, but it was when I wasn't at my apartment. So somebody like came in, they knew that my roommates and I were all away, so they knew to like break in.
Oh, but so you just got your apartment robbed. You didn't get it.
And I didn't even get the drugs. Like nothing got stolen other than my laptop, which I just started writing like some jokes on it, and I was like so pissed that I lost that.
Yeah,
probably had some gems.
You could have maybe been like well, there goes my comedy career. Go full blown Heisenberg.
Yeah.
That could have been a pivotal moment for you.
Well, right when I was about to graduate, I was like, man, do I keep on doing this? Because I left college, like I probably made about like 50 grand, and I think I left college with about like 25. I was buying everything. My mom had like no money, and then so I was paying for like everything when I was at college. She was still paying for my tuition.
Yeah,
but I was paying for like all my
spot
expenses.
Where you can't like let your if you start paying for everything, your parents are gonna be, what the fuck's going on here?
My tuition's still on you. Yeah. And I graduated, but and I wasn't like crazy with doing it. I did it definitely a good number of times, but I wasn't like, there are kids who would be doing it like 7 days a week.
Well, I mean, it's never get high on your own supply. It's not one of the 10 crack commandments, Gary. You can't.
And I stuck with that.
Yeah.
So.
How'd that come about? Like, how did you find the connection?
There's a kid that was my age in my fraternity, and he was initially selling it, and then he didn't want to do it anymore. He just felt like it was too risky, and I was like, oh, I'll take over.
Pass down the family
and
business.
I was like, immediately saw like the opportunity. I was like, oh, let me do that. And then so I remember it was like, I mean, I'm the Jew in me. I was like, all right, let me go from like everybody was selling grams. I was like, let me start selling 20 bags just to like keep on moving it as fast.
Let's
so
go.
I was doing that, and I was buying about I was buying like quarter ounces as like that was like the most.
Are you
So I was
chopping
buying,
it
like,
and bagging it? Are you doing all that shit, or was
so?
was it,
I wouldn't chop. I would break it up. I wouldn't like add anything to it.
or you don't cut it or whatever.
Yeah. But of course I would like
Gary Vider's moving that pure white.
Yeah, but I know.
Yo, Gary Vider's got the best Coke in town.
But
Let's go.
This guy from Queens, he said his name was Mike. He was the one who would like drive it up. He was eventually like my contact. So I had to like find new people over time because all these people like they stopped delivering.
New clientele, you mean? New people?
New like new
suppliers.
delivery
Got it.
suppliers. So it was a whole thing, and
bro, you're
definitely super
Heisenberg.
stressful. Yeah.
It's like I've seen a ton of you come through, kid. Like,
Yeah.
just keep the product moving and shut the fuck up.
But you never know. Like, I'm like, I didn't know who he was connected with. Like, he was the one who was like, and he was bringing it up for like other people also. But I'm sure he was bringing up like pounds.
Yeah.
So it's a crazy thing to be around where you're like, you don't think of the consequences as like when you're a kid and you don't think anything could happen. But yeah, stuff could go down.
Your operation was probably small time, but the guy you're
I would have to give somebody
reported
up.
to,
Like,
or
yeah.
like 2 or 3 guys up is probably a fucking big deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, did you ever any like run-ins where you almost got caught?
No, other than what happened was when my apartment got broken into, we were away and we had an alarm system, and the alarm was going off when we came back, and it was going off for like 2 days, and I was like, why didn't the cops come if it was going off? And my roommates, they didn't pay the bill. So I was like, which worked out to my advantage because I had plates like with Coke on it that were in my room and they were all over the place. And so I was like, if cops came in here, they would have saw that, and then I would have been screwed.
And you would have snitched?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Are you kidding me? There's without a doubt. I'm stitching I'll give it all up.
Listen, we're not doing good in prison.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know.
But guys like us are not gonna fare well in prison. That is fucking hilarious. Because like you said, like I would not look at you and think that's the biggest Coke guy on campus.
And it was.
Do you have any competition? Was there ever any like, yo, I sell to like Kappa Gamma or whatever the fuck the letters are?
No, but there are other fraternities. Kids definitely sold, but like it's like who's available, and it's like people always want, we'd always want it, and then
and they come to you. They come to your dorm, and you just do the.
Well, they would come to
parties and shit.
I would do it at parties. Of course, people would like knock on your door at points where you're like at like 5 a.m.
Yeah,
you're like, oh, this is crazy. People pounding. We're like, I know you're in there. I'm like. And so that's the stuff. That's the stuff that got like you're like, oh, come on, I got to get out of this. But
did you have any clients that you were like, these guys are fucking fiends, or was it all just like party?
Oh no,
Coke?
They were fiends. Yeah, I mean like total. Yeah, I mean people who were doing it like I would say like they're doing it along the lines of like 4 or 5 days a week, and they're like, oh, this is like an issue because like college you have like the Tuesday nights were party nights, and I went to university at Buffalo, so it was outside of like going to a bar and like doing drugs, like there's not much to do. Yeah, the sports were terrible when I was there. Yeah, I mean they're still not great, but like they were never like ever competitive in anything. And then so like Tuesday nights were the party nights, and then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Dude, the thought of being at the University of Buffalo. It's bitter cold, and you're like snowed in, and you're just sitting there doing blow.
Right,
so
exactly.
funny.
Yeah,
it's not like you're at like Arizona State and you're at the pool party. It's like we're snowed in. You want to like drink a bunch of beer and do coke.
Totally. Your options are limited, so you're getting fucked up. It's huge party school, man. And it was I was a fraternity that was like an off-campus fraternity, so not even like a legitimate one, and that's like how it operated in Buffalo, and I'm sure like it probably still does now.
Yeah, that's almost better. You don't want the.
By the way, I always wanted to I was like, oh, I'm gonna be like this a comedian one day, and I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna hang out with like the fraternity. I'm like, I don't even know what's going on, and nor do I ever want to do that.
I was gonna say,
it's never ever a thing. But that was like, I remember I was like, like a year out, I was like, I'm gonna show everybody like I became a comedian and like I do this, but it was like it never panned. First off, it took forever. Yeah. And then now it's like,
by the time
now
you
I
could
can't do it. Now I have 2 kids, I got a wife and stuff.
Yeah, it's like the last thing I want to do. There's a few guys here that are gonna do the beer Olympics.
Okay.
We have a podcast, Bussin' with the Boys. It's a couple ex-football players, and they are the ones at the center of it, and so they're able to get like a couple other football players and some famous podcasters and all that shit, and so a couple of the guys here are doing it, and I was not invited, but if I was like, I cannot think of anything worse than that right now.
Oh, it's rough.
Like I can't drink anymore. I can't fucking like roughhouse and fight. They're playing pool basketball and they're like throwing elbows and somebody getting thrown out the window, punching holes through walls. I'm like, no way, dude. I want to sit on the couch and play video games.
For sure. Those guys have an energy. And I've seen like the podcast and I see them like, I'm like, they have an energy that I don't have anymore. I'm like, I don't do that.
Dude, if I get up too quickly, I'm like, boy, okay, dude, my head's a little.
I have a thing with my hip. Like it's going to probably happen. Like get the camera when I'm walking away after this is done. I'm like, I'm going to be limping for like at least like a minute. That'd be good. I just like my hip needs to get like readjusted.
Yeah, I mean, they got all that like aggression and energy and all that shit to get out, and they don't have their regular outlet anymore. So
yeah, I mean that's
just
crazy.
gotta meat-headed up all the time.
Yeah, if they get angry, I mean, I assume they're the guy like they'll just like punch a hole through a wall.
Sure, or a hole through your face. I don't know.
Yeah. Whatever's closer.
Depends on what the situation is.
Yeah.
Feidelberg, my co-host, was in, I believe, Pike. It is the fraternity, and they were known as like the in shape fraternity. Like they all lifted weights and shit. And he's actually jacked now, but he talked about a couple times going back to campus and then being like, "You were in Pike? Are you sure you were? I don't think so."
Where'd you go to school?
Fordham in the Bronx. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. They had no frat life.
Yeah, there was nothing like that.
It was all together at the same time, the worst and best decision like I ever made, because it's like all of my best friends. Yeah, you get the city life, but the thing, like, the city's always going to be there. What I didn't really get is a true 4-year college experience, because we were always at bars, and there was a couple off-campus apartments that acted as like frat parties, but they're not frat houses. There's not like big lawns parties. There's not big sports, and we were like literally in the hood, and it's not like, oh, that's like it's just those kids couldn't handle that neighborhood. It was like, that's actually bad neighborhoods,
Yeah.
And so, but I met all of the people, like all my best friends are from there.
Yeah.
And in a weird roundabout way, I think blogging and podcasting and all that, actually, I used to work at the radio a little bit.
You had to focus on different,
kind of
like find interests in different ways. Yeah.
Had I not gone there, I don't know where I would have ended up, but I would probably do it differently if I did it all over again.
Yeah, I wanted to go to a school that had sports. I was like, I played hockey as a kid. I was like, but I mean, like, I'm a small guy, and I wasn't good enough to like go on and play college. But I was like, oh, I would love to be like a coach or something, and like draw plays, or do something like an agent or something.
Right.
So I was like, oh, let me go to like a big sports school, but they were so expensive, and we didn't have the money to do it. So I was like, all right. So I went
also
state school.
Half that shit never ends up coming to fruition.
No, I would have been a coach.
Oh, you would have? Okay, yeah.
It would have worked out.
Sure. So House of the Dragon is back, starting on Sunday night, and I've been rewatching because I'm going into the basement with my boys. My mom's basement. Me, Robbie, and Clem do a recap podcast every week, and so I'm rewatching season 1 to try to get back in the mode. And the whole theme is Team Green versus Team Black. And last week, I was like, if you're on Team Green, you're absolutely like a psychopath. You're fucking crazy if you watch House of the Dragon and you're rooting for these guys. And then I'm like halfway through first season, and I was like, what am I talking about? This guy Damon is a piece of fucking shit. Like, he murdered his wife. It's crazy. This guy Damon, he's like, he keeps talking about how he doesn't like his wife and how ugly she is, and how he wants a new wife and he can't get rid of this one. And then she shows up on like episode 5. Beautiful woman. She's just like a very pretty actress. And he makes her horse like jump up in the air and fall down on her and gets paralyzed. And then he smashes her to death with a rock.
Jeez.
And I'm like, Team Black. Yeah. Like, what? I remember that the ending, I think because I'm watching them back to back to back, it's like different now. And I'm pretty sure by the end of the season, the green team and Allison are just absolutely like the most unlikable assholes in the world. But as I'm watching it back, I'm like, I don't think I like anybody. It is some wild shit on House of the Dragon. It is really, they went back to the original Game of Thrones where it's incest and murder and dirty politics and all of that stuff. So It's back on Sunday night. It's following the brutal murder of Rhaenyra's son. House Targaryen is split into two. Westeros is on the brink of civil war. There's dragons everywhere, babies being born, men versus women, all sorts of stuff. It's on available on Max. So pick your side, Team Green, Team Black. Don't miss the show everyone will be talking about on Sunday nights. Season 2 of House of the Dragon premieres this Sunday at 9 p.m. on Max. See how the rivalry began by watching Season 1 and listen to the official podcast on Max or wherever you get your podcasts. What are your sports teams?
I love the Rangers and love the Knicks.
Man,
and
you guys just
and then after
can't
that,
get over the hump, huh?
I know. Well, so I'm doing this podcast now. Do you know like this? Do you know anything about like my story? So like back in the early '90s, my dad and I.
Oh yes, like he was a con man, right?
Yeah, he was a con man. And then we impersonated, where I would impersonate a Sports Illustrated for Kids reporter, and he impersonated Sports Illustrated for Kids photographer.
Yes.
And we did this in the '90s. So this is where I became a Knicks and a Rangers fan.
Hell yeah.
Because we'd be going to the Garden, and we went there over 50 times without tickets.
I've heard legend of this, but I don't think I've ever talked to you about it.
And they gave us press passes and everything. And I would interview the Knicks, the Rangers, and then also like players on the visiting teams as well.
Was your dad like, here's what we're doing, kid?
Yeah.
I
was so into sports.
You're not coming up with this idea, right?
I didn't. I was getting Sports Illustrated for kids, and my dad, he saw like the opportunity. He's like, all right, this is a chance for us to go to the game. And he was doing every aspect of his life was always a con.
Okay, so he was like a snaky guy.
Oh, everything, yeah. So I mean, he was stealing money in any business that he was in. If from like customers and everything. He's doing false insurance claims. So he was in in the early '80s. He was in a furniture business, and like he wouldn't be delivering on the furniture that would be given to like some of the people. So it's like things like that. Eventually, he got sued by the Attorney General for New York State, and then so like there's a huge like newspaper article with it where it was like over like $100,000 that he stole back in the '80s. So it's like
big money, yeah.
Yeah, equivalent of like,
did he,
like a $500,000 now.
Did he catch a case? Did he get?
He always. So the other thing is, a lot of times he would always figure loopholes out in the court system and ways out of it. So as far as I was able to figure out, he never did any actual time.
Wow.
But yeah, there are times where it's like, his businesses were forced to shut down, things like that.
And on to the next hustle.
Yeah, and then
I love that, man. That's a great podcast idea. So are you just chronicling that?
Yeah, so chronicling all his scams, ones that I know of, ones that I don't. I'm talking to different family members, but the catch is like my dad and I, we stopped talking when I was 15, so it was 24 years since we last talked, and I have to figure out like what he's up to, and I'm gonna try and track him down. And that's what the podcast is, yeah. And then hopefully I could like get him on.
Wow.
So yeah, it's 10 episodes, and it comes out June 10th.
Okay, so 10 episodes, June 10th, YouTube, I'm assuming?
Actually, it's on wherever you get your podcast. So the first episode.
Okay, yeah.
The first episode and the second episode drop, and it's on iHeartRadio, and it's but it's like you could just search it for wherever podcasts are.
So you right now, if you wanted to talk to him, you don't know how to get in contact with him?
So leading up to the podcast, I was trying to figure it all out. So part of the suspense is if I'm going to actually talk to him in like the 10 episodes. So it's like that I'm leaving open-ended. But the whole thing is like figuring it out. If like, did he make these decisions of like being a crook, being a con man for the betterment of the family? But eventually it led to obviously my mom divorcing him. I have two older sisters. Both of them stopped talking to him. And I mean, there are reasons behind it. And you're like, am I remembering everything that I think I remember as a kid? Is it actually true?
Yeah, man. You start to learn about other things in your family, far less serious, but you're like, oh, wait a minute, that's not what was going on.
Right.
Or you just told me that because of this.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm sure there were
you don't get all the facts.
Half truths and
so,
and then maybe some of the lies were, it goes both ways.
And part of the thing with like when you're doing a story on a comment, you're like, there are a lot of lies, so you're like trying to map up like what is actually true, and that's what I try and figure out. But like as far as the Sports Illustrated stuff goes, we'd be going to games, and this was like the best memory I ever had with my dad of us going to these games, and I like to believe that he did it for me, but he also is somebody who loved conning. So, I'm sure he
wasn't
enjoyed
even doing
the rush.
It for the Knicks game. He was just doing it for the rush.
Yeah, he wouldn't care. And I mean, I met, so many, every, like the 90s Knicks were incredible. And then the 90s Rangers. I was at Game 1, Game 5, and Game 7 of the Rangers Stanley Cup series, and 94. And I sat glass when the Rangers won the Stanley Cup.
How old were you at that point?
I was 10 years old.
Okay, yeah.
And then after the game, I went in the locker room when they won the cup, and then went to the after party. I went to Gracie Mansion a few days later.
And you don't talk to this guy anymore?
Yeah, I know. He sounds like a great guy. But yeah, whatever happened. It's maybe at the end of the podcast, he reveals that I'm actually the piece of shit. But yeah.
He's like, yeah, your mom was just feeding you lies. What the fuck?
I'm like, Mom, he was perfect. What are you talking about? But,
dude, I would be very interested in that for multiple reasons. But if you have did you ever watch The Jinx with Robert Durst?
Yeah.
Like the fact that the show actually caught up to real time and then there was a payoff. If there's something like that, I mean, that has a lot of potential. A lot of potential.
The podcast is it's me learning from the past, but then also trying to track
kind
him
of
down
meet
and
in the
learn.
middle almost. Yeah.
And I talked to different people, not only my sisters, but people that worked with my dad. To get a real better understanding of who he was. I talked to a therapist. I talked to a couple comedians, but it just follows me on a path, and it's very, it's a very tight. Every episode is only 30 minutes, so it's very tight. So it just goes on a path, and it kind of has a TV show type vibe.
Where do you think it will go? Like,
I mean, I would
what are
love,
the chances you think you end up doing an episode with him?
It's hope. I'm holding out because he always loves an opportunity. So that's like the goal that he would want to do it. And I wrote an article for Sports Illustrated with detailing this originally. That's what kind of got this podcast going. Yeah. And I know that he saw it, and he's a very litigious person, and I don't think he cared that I put that out there. But the podcast definitely reveals a lot of stuff about like his cons, and really like puts a lot of insight into who he is. So I'm not really sure like how his take will be once he hears it.
I mean, part of me would feel like if it was, there's something a little bit like cool about hustling and scheming.
I think it's think it's the coolest thing, especially back in the day, because now it's a lot different.
The people who get scammed are like, it ruined my family business, so fuck you. Like there is a very dark side of it where it's like you are taking advantage of other people, which in some ways is like the lowest thing you can do. Right. But when you toe that line of like, as long as there's not like a real victim, and I'm sure in some cases there were, so it wasn't great. But if it's like, we're scheming, we're getting into the game, or we're hustling our way through this thing or that thing, there is something very it's like DiCaprio and Catch Me If You Can, like romanticized about it, where it's like a skill almost. I wish I had that.
There's
so many talker
for sure. There's so many things I learned about him. It was like it really is like very similar to Catch Me If You Can. Like somebody said that he impersonated an attorney and then he represented this guy in court like as a favor. There's another one where he's like, he impersonated being a police officer, like things like that. Like my dad had a Chevy Caprice, which is like an unmarked cop car, and he would use that to his advantage when he'd pull people over when he would feel like it. So, and this is with me around. This is with other people around. So there's like, it's not just me, spewing this out. It's like other people as well. Yeah. And but that's who he was.
It's the confidence, I mean, con man, right? That's the term.
Yeah, it's not to be like cliche, but that is the most important thing of it. And he just exuberated it.
Like, Jackie knows it. Jackie went to was it the Jets game? Yeah. She just was like, first of all, she went alone to Sunday Night Football. Which is the craziest
sad,
fucking thing I've ever heard in my life.
I'm sorry, Jack. Yeah. Is everything okay?
But she just.
But I bought a ticket, but then it just didn't. It was fake ticket, so I was just.
She bought a ticket that was fake, and then I think the guy just let you in, right? Because you were like crying or something.
Yeah.
And then you just started walking into VIP sections, just walk through, like with your head.
You just kept crying. People just kept letting you in.
It's probably a little different when you're a girl, but if you act like you belong somewhere, the security guard or the person at the desk or whatever is going to go like, well, I don't know. I guess they're,
Yeah.
It's like, it's hard to really scheme and scam. But if you just put like 1% extra of confidence, it's amazing what you can get away with.
For sure. I mean, things are definitely different now.
Yeah,
like you guys know with like, getting press passes, but like how I remember like when Portnoy would sneak into NFL games.
Yeah.
Does he still have to do? Like, does he still? Is he allowed
it was
to go?
media day. He doesn't even like want to go anymore. Like, but they are definitely still banned, I think, for sure.
Oh, so it was just media day because when he get escorted
he got
out.
kicked out of the one game because because at that point he was banned from, I think, like everything. Yeah. He put on the mustache and everything.
But it's like things like that you try and do to you figure a way in, and it's amazing. It's amazing. Like even with the disguise that they were able to get it. But like now it's like technology with like facial recognition.
That's the thing. Hustling in the 60s, 70s, 80s, even 90s. You
just need to stay under the radar.
As long as you don't get too greedy, whatever. There's no cameras. There's no goddamn 9/11 fucked us. It's really what it happened. You can't scam anymore.
I know. I mean,
that's the real victims. Of 9/11,
exactly. Yeah,
us.
The terrorists really, the terrorists really screwed us over in that way.
Man, that is a really I could see that, like the internet taking a liking to that, and like
I mean that's what I mean. I would love to because I mean there's so many interesting things that happen of like growing up with him, and just like I mean he would be involving me in things that if we're in a car he'd purposely get into a fender bender to so he could get file a false insurance claim, and then also tell me to act like my neck hurts too. So it's
and of course you're just going along with it,
you
right?
go along with your dad. It's like if we're at a restaurant and it's just piece of glass was like on the table. I remember one time I accidentally cut my finger, just a very small cut, and then my dad just starts complaining at the restaurant, saying that I got cut badly, and and it's and then they're comping our meals and things like that.
Were you old enough? Did you get old enough at a point where you were like, Dad, come on,
enough, dude, I mean we were doing the Sports Illustrated scam up until I was 14, and it's I looked young, so he's definitely using that to his advantage, but it's at that moment where I was like, can we just buy tickets like a normal father and son? Right. There's a certain point where you just want your relationship with your dad to be that. You want it to be a father and son relationship. And I would look at all my friends and these were things I couldn't share with my friends. I couldn't tell them how I was meeting all these players. Eventually it got to a point where I was like, Dad, let me just tell them that somebody. And he agreed to that. And so I was able to share a lot of the pictures and things like that with them. But their pictures with me with press passes, I couldn't show them that. Things like that. You got to be a little more secretive about.
I don't want to pry too much, but it sounds like as you talk about it, you remember it fondly. But then it just reached a point where
I mean, this was
this
was hands down the best memory I have of my dad and I. And then, but everything after that, as you get to that age of 14, you realize this is everything he does, and you kind of get sick of it, and you just want it to be as normal as possible. Yeah,
I could definitely see that. But for an audience who is not sick of it, they're like, tell me more, what else?
For sure, yeah. So and that's why I'm when I talk to my sisters on it, it's amazing, their recollection of things and the things that they were put in a position to do by him, and whether I mentioned the false insurance claims, but one of my sisters, she in high school she got whacked with a lacrosse stick by this kid, and this kid's family had money, and my dad found that out, and with his cop car he pulled this kid over and found out I guess a whole bunch of his information, found out that made him admit that he did it, and then eventually they filed the lawsuit against that family, and then they went out and won the case out. So but it's things like this that my dad would use to capitalize.
Holy shit.
But yeah, I know, it's crazy. And then my other sister was just she was by the time she was out of the house, some of her memories are more about his furniture scams and things like that. But he a lot of things he did was impersonating different people, and he was in the phone business, so would take care of everyone's phone lines and for different restaurants and things like that. And he also had pay phones, and they'd be in different locations back in the early 90s, and he would take me on these collections where he'd be collecting from the payphones, and sometimes there'd be a competitor's payphone next to his. And now, he'd be smashing the headsets. He would, with me there, he'd be taking it off the wall. They'd be put in the car. I'd be the lookout of that. He'd tell me to honk if I saw somebody coming. He would tell me to go up to the payphone and put gum in the coin slots, things like that, so people wouldn't use it, and they would use his.
In New York?
This was all New York, Long Island, and then New York. That's where everything was based.
That is some funny shit.
Yeah, it was wild. So
I feel like that, had to have trickled down to you in some way, or is it the opposite? Are you like?
Very, well, yeah. I mean, I saw that there's.
I mean, I guess you were selling coke in college,
yeah. Right. So he never did that, but it gave me the reason to be like, he always taught me that. I mean, and these were the lessons that he taught, was that there's always a way to figure something out.
Yeah.
Oh, you need money. How could you get it? Obviously, like, drugs is an easy way, but like, why me? Like, well, I don't look like your typical drug dealer, and
sure.
especially like back then. So it was like it was like a perfect thing where I'm like, oh, this seems like a flawless plan. At least
there is something interesting when if you're struggling and your back's against the wall.
Yeah,
you'll get creative.
Yeah,
you'll find a way to make that money.
And there are definitely, obviously, you could have gotten a job. You could have done things like honestly, but like my dad always, his way of going about was be dishonest and like, and it seems like fun. These fun ways of being dishonest.
It's better than sitting at your desk.
Yeah. But yeah, like college was, I would steal exams. There was an accounting class that had a class in the morning, and I was in the afternoon class. And what they would do is, they would lay out exams in alphabetical order. So I was like, let me just go into the first class, take one random person's exam, and then I'd have 2 hours to give it to somebody smart to figure it out. So I stole a midterm, I stole a final, and like these are like the things that like my dad taught me about, like figuring out that there's a way.
Yeah. That's great, man.
Yeah.
It's a fun way to live life.
Yeah. But then
those are the perfect things where it's like, I'm not hurting anybody and I'm going to get an A on my test. Like,
But then there's things that are scary. Like when I started doing comedy, I'm like, can he just show up somewhere that I'm performing? Like and these are things like, I wasn't, back then I wasn't ready to ever see him again. And then so like this the podcast that I'm doing, it really picks up when I had my first kid, and I just kind of really start thinking about like all these memories that I had with my dad, and there's not a lot of time left, and
Sure.
we'll see what fatherhood has done, and like maybe my dad is a different person now too.
What was it called again? The
Number
series?
One Dad.
Number One Dad. Man, that is going to be very captivating. That's very interesting.
Thank you.
Do you have any idea where he is right now? Like, did you stay in the area, or you don't
so
even have a
he's
guess?
back in, like, as far as I know, he's been back and forth from like Israel. He's battling Hamas. No, I'm just kidding. No, he's.
Wouldn't that be imagine that? Like, we tracked him down. He's on the front lines over there.
Yeah. But Israel, and then like back to like, could be like Long Island, could have moved, like is just figuring it out. So I don't necessarily know where he could be at, but like trying to figure that out. Yeah.
Get the movie rights to this shit. Do a little Catch Me If You Can Part 2.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think like as far as movie rights go, I definitely would need his like approval to an extent.
Yeah.
But it's there is like coming up from like how I lived, and like what I saw is like really like it's crazy. It was like my dad was supposed to be this person that teaches you how to be like a good person,
right?
And then he was doing everything like opposite, but to his way, it was like this is how life is supposed to be lived.
I was gonna say, sometimes it's like, yes, you should teach your kid to be a stand-up person and live life that way. But I think of it more as like, you got to teach your kid how to get from here in life to here in life. And you can go, the straight way, or you can
absolutely
go the wiggly way, And sometimes I think it's a little more realistic to teach your kid, it's not going to just be like, get a job, work hard, you're going to get a promotion, you're going to get a raise. As a matter of fact, when you do all that shit by the book, you usually end up spinning your wheels and somebody's stepping on your head to get above you who's scheming and scamming. So, a little balance of that is so you as a father, have you ever had some thoughts of like,
doing some of
the shit with your kids? Because like you said, it was your fondest memory.
I mean, it was, but yeah, if anything, I'm like, I would want my kid to like experience like the games like the way that I wanted to experience it, like like a father and son. Because I never experienced that, so I'm like, let me try this.
Right,
like,
right.
Cool.
That's true. You never just went to the game.
Yeah, it'd be cool to experience that. So, there are things where I'm like, like I could totally just like show him like to steal this, or just like this is how you like talk to somebody.
Here's
how
you shoplift. Yeah, here's how you get into a place.
Right.
I feel like I have almost a 7-year-old boy now, and
good athlete, by the way. I see the clips you
post.
Dude,
he's fucking great, man. He's really playing good. He doesn't have the mentality yet, though. He's very emotional.
Oh, okay,
It's a very hard line. Like,
the
baseball coaches will be like, not yelling at him, but they'll be like, "Come on, like do it." And he turns to me, and I can see tears welling up. And
right.
In the moment, I want to be like,
Yeah.
man up. But I it's like I don't want to upset him. Or,
Right. That's tough.
Very fine line. So
yeah,
it's
because you want to
interesting.
keep them motivated, but you don't want. But you also want to keep them like still like engaged and still loving.
Yes,
the
I don't
sport.
want them to be like, fuck this. I hate
Yeah,
you guys.
You make them run like next to the car. You went 2 for 3.
That to me has been. My daughter is a very good dancer and gymnast, and she likes basketball too. And then my son plays basketball, baseball. We did a little bit of flag football. To me, that's been like the funnest part of fatherhood so far is doing that stuff. That like everything else, you love when your kids are babies and you have those special moments. But what I personally like is sports, and now it's all happening. And very lucky that they're pretty good at it. So it's like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, that's
and it's like we get like many more years of this. Like, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure they like it and have fun. It is, I cannot believe you hear all the stories about like sports parents, and then you see it in action, and it's like,
oh, it's
wow,
gross.
You fucking assholes really like don't have the self-awareness to go like, oh wait, I'm being one of those people right now. Like,
yeah, completely ruining hockey.
losers.
Like hockey parents I mean, they're all bad, but like I saw firsthand with hockey parents and hockey parents, because it's like, especially when kids start hitting each other, it's like that's where it gets like
I would
crazy.
not be able to
And
handle that.
there'll be fights in the stands.
Yeah.
And you're like, what is going on?
Yep.
And sometimes like, and of course when a fight happens like on the ice between two kids, it's like parents
square off. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And then
and you're paying a lot of money, and it's 4 a.m. for
hockey's
ice time,
so much
11
money.
p.m.
Yeah, I tried taking. So my kid just turned 4, the oldest one, and I was taking him ice skating, and I'm so happy he doesn't really like it. I loved hockey, but I'm like, he likes the Rangers, but I'm so happy. It's so expensive, and it's such a time commitment. It would really be on my wife, and I know that she would hate it. And not only that, I travel so much for comedy that I wouldn't want them to be away like on a weekend that like when I'm home and now I have to then I have to like also go to it's too much. So I'm happy that like he likes watching hockey so far, like a little bit, but he doesn't care for actually like playing.
Bro, my kids have never seen a hockey stick.
Yeah.
I've never seen a puck. They don't know.
It's such a fun
I'm
sport.
making sure they don't even know what hockey is. I do not want to deal with
It's crazy,
that shit.
and it's like I think it's like it leads to so many relationships ending between with families, because it's like you have to bring, not like one kid might like hockey, one kid might not, but that kid's going to the rink also. So it's just like it sucks.
Yeah, it's terrible.
But I lived in a hockey rink when I was a kid from like 7 till I was like 18.
Yeah.
And it's just it's a lot.
Yeah, that's not my jam, but I definitely want to teach him like how to handle
he must
yourself.
think what you
like,
do is like the coolest thing.
They don't really know it yet. They don't really get it yet.
my
I
God.
haven't really explained it like fully, and the only thing that they really see is when people recognize me in public.
Yeah.
And I realized I kind of made a mistake in that every time somebody wanted to take a picture or something, they asked me, "Who is that?" And I said, "That's somebody I know, or they know me from work." And they thought it meant we work together.
Right.
And of course, because it sounds that way.
Yeah.
They don't know me, so they were like, you work with so many people, like everybody. And so just recently, there's been a couple videos I've shot. We did a Survivor type thing.
Yeah.
And we did a Amazing Race type video. And so I showed them those because it was like, look, I'm on a reality show competing. And I think they're starting to get it. And like a couple of the other kids are like, your dad's on Instagram, and a couple of teachers know, and it's like we're almost there. And I mean, it's not like I'm hiding it or anything, but it's just a weird thing to start to explain, particularly because I also don't want them to really be on the internet, and it's hard for me to enforce that if I'm on the internet myself all the time. So I'm like, the longer I can keep that, I would love for them. I don't want to be like a weird, like, you can have all the technology and shit. I just don't want you to be dealing with the social media shit, because I am a grown-ass adult who has been through like the fire, and I still struggle with how people treat me and what's being said.
Yeah.
So how the fuck is a 10-year-old and a 9-year-old?
You need to hold, like, I mean, that's my goal, is to like hold them out on like
long
all
as
that
you
stuff.
can.
Yeah, because I mean, as soon as that happens and they start feeling like, oh, I'm not getting likes on certain stuff, and like, or looking at what other people are doing, they lose complete focus.
Yep.
But do your kids watch like, I mean, YouTube shorts and things like that?
Yeah.
Like that's the thing, is like it sucks. It's like
I know.
you just want that to like, because their attention span is so small.
I know. Oh, so you mean specifically the shorts?
Yeah.
They I don't know if it's actually shorts. They're on YouTube for sure.
My kids aren't on the shorts yet, but yeah, they'll watch. Like right now, my oldest, he'll watch. I got him to watch the original Ghostbusters all the way through, which I was like that. I was proud of him for it.
I recently did Space Jam.
Nice.
Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Mighty Ducks 1, Mighty Ducks 2.
Oh,
and
killer.
they liked them all.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm like, yo, I got 25 more of these. Like, I'll go to 1994. We can start bagging out movies.
Yeah.
Like, so that made me very happy. Like, they know.
I love that.
They know who Michael Jordan is because of Space Jam.
Yeah.
But they talk about Michael Jordan and LeBron James, and I'm like, this is awesome.
That's killer.
You
yeah.
know, that really, like, that shit pumps me up. Where
The fact that they can make it through movies is
that
amazing.
was a big.
That's a huge thing.
But yours is still young.
Yeah, it's still young.
We didn't do movies until, I mean, my son is turning 7, and he still will grab his iPad and be like, when is this movie over? And he starts watching something else. So you still got a ways. I wouldn't, I don't think they can do like 2 hours for
definitely not.
Like,
but surprisingly,
6,
Ghostbusters
7.
he made it through. But then I was like, oh, he did that. I'm like, I took him to see the movie If, and that movie sucked. It's like John Krasinski made a movie. It's like an imaginary friend.
Yeah, sucks.
Yeah, it sucked. I mean, we talk about like being creative and stuff, but like, I'm sorry, man, that movie, like, I don't even care. It's like it wasn't even a good like kids movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, that anyway, and Ryan Reynolds is in it. But yeah, we made it.
Both you guys. It sucked.
Yeah, we made it maybe like an hour, and I was like trying to get like, and he was just like done. He had like all the candy and stuff, but he had the movie theater experience.
Yeah,
and he wants to go
I've done
back.
that too. Yeah, we leave early, but it's like the whole thing was there.
Yeah.
We did Super Mario Brother movie when that came out. That was great.
Oh, nice.
We did that in
But yeah,
theaters.
he's
They
still
loved it.
young, and like he loves. I mean, yeah, he loves like the stuff on YouTube where you're like, I don't even know what what this stuff is.
It was a important moment for me when Keegan watches a lot of gamer streams. He likes video games, so he watches the kids playing, and he started to talk like them. And one day he called me bruh. He was like, what's up, bruh? And I was like, oh, shit. You really are picking up on all this stuff. And he's using all these terminology from the gaming world. He's like, are you a noob, or did you get pwned or whatever? I'm oh, shit, you really are like soaking all of this in.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, they love watching. That's another thing, watching somebody play video games. You remember like when you would play video games and like it wasn't your turn, you'd just be waiting? Like, this sucks.
Yeah.
Like, you'd be in a room. But now it's like you would just
but you
watch
know what?
someone.
As much as I was waiting for my turn, there was times where I would watch like my brother and be like, oh shit, you killed him or whatever, So like there is something to that. They just do it on the computer now. But it's such a fine line between like being a normal parent and recognizing that like this is going to be their life. They're going to live in the world with technology and all that shit, but also being like, can we hold on as long as possible? It's so hard once other kids start having phones and shit. And it's like now your kids are like the losers who don't have it. That's a whole other thing.
And
to
you want to like get in touch with your kid if you like,
especially
somewhere.
I'm divorced, so it's like I'm like, can we have like they can have a iPhone, but just to reach me or whatever, so. Yeah. It's a whole thing, and I'm just stumbling my way through it. But that's what life is, right?
I know. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, I know. Like I'm trying to just not be my dad. That's it for the most part. Some maybe take the good.
I was gonna say take the good piece, and the rest is teach them how to be it. Well, man, that's awesome. It sounds like it's a good time in your career right now. That's cool.
Yeah, hoping. The special just came out, and then the podcast comes out on June 10th.
So, and you said you have 2 episodes done, or did I?
So we have 10 episodes done. So the whole everything's complete.
Oh shit!
Okay. So I know if I met my dad or not.
Oh,
that's it.
you son of a bitch!
Yeah, I just can't. I just can't say. Yeah, I just can't say.
I thought it was like as these start to roll out, maybe my dad hears about it or something.
Yeah. No, but it's everything is
bastard.
done. There's music. There's like it's like a whole like production that like went into it. So I was like working on it for like over 2 years of like getting it together and making sure and like I think it like definitely there's a payoff and there's gonna and people will like it.
I ordinarily I would like end the podcast and make you tell me off, Mike. And I don't want to know. I want to go on this journey. I'm going to watch. I'm going to listen.
Cool.
That's great, man.
Please.
All right. So June 10th, number one dad. and It Could Be Worse.
Yep,
is
It
out
Could Be
now
Worse.
on YouTube, and I'm sure tickets and all that. Gary Vider.
Yeah, GaryVider.com, and then that'll be come out to a show.
Awesome, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Great.
All right, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like, and leave a comment below. Click that button.
Or I'll cut off my finger.